Oh, hey, I just saw. I know who popped in just now. Safety Sue's in tonight. Hey, Sue.
How you doing?
All right, how are you?
Well, the first thing I got to say is don't follow your relatives' advice. They wanted me to go to Okeechobee because the storm was heading right for Tampa Bay area, and Largo is part of Tampa Bay. And so Okeechobee's about 180 miles from here. So I drove there, and wouldn't you know, the storm followed me. So, yeah, it was an interesting week. I got attacked by my cat because she didn't want to come with me, so she got to stay. To the point where the doctors put me on antibiotics just in case.
Oh, wow.
That's looking good now. Plus, she got me up my arm.
Oh my gosh, she really attacked.
And this finger too. That gray and white one that photobombed me a couple of weeks ago. It was that one. The one that needed to come with me, she came willingly because she's on medication. But the gray and white stayed, and the other one stayed. Yeah, we had gusts of wind. Well, it wasn't a gust. I guess they're just winds of 79 miles per hour in Okeechobee, and there was nothing here. I mean, they had a little bit. I had a limb break, but that was it. But now I can't find my lathe because all the furniture from the back porch and the front porch are around it. So I've got to get somebody to help me take everything back out. Because somehow during the week, I bruised a bunch of ribs, so I've got to be careful.
Well, you're just a walking wounded.
Yeah, it's like, this has got to stop, man. This has really got to stop. But yeah, I'm back. I guess that's a warning.
Yeah. Well, glad to see you back and okay. And we did hear from Kim. Kim said she was all right.
Yeah, I was worried about her because she's kind of she's inland, but could have gotten quite a bit of it.
I heard from her the day after the storm went through that the trailer made it. You know, because they're living in a trailer right now. The trailer made it.
Oh,
and
well,
that's surprising because tornadoes go looking for trailers. They don't hit anything else. They go.
Where my relatives live in Okeechobee, they're on the canal, and it's all manufactured homes, aka trailer. And that one night when the winds were so bad, I could hear something coming. And my son-in-law said, "Oh, that must be a gust coming down the canal." And I'm thinking, God, I hope so. But it blew up the neighbor's shed. And I'm pretty sure that was a little tornado. But it is what it is. I'm safe, back home, and at least smiling. Although I really freak out with these storms.
Oh, I am too. I was so afraid of it because, I mean, it was a year ago that at the end of August that I lost my shop. And it was a tornado that took that out because it hopped across, took out 2 little sheds in the yards and blew my fence down and the fence getting out, but didn't do any damage on a house right opposite of me.
Wow.
You know, so looked at my shop and said, "Oh, that's got to go." It's okay. We still ain't cleaned it up. I'm working with my lawn guy, who I had to cave in and hire. He's going to, now that the weather's getting cooler, he doesn't have to rush as much to do yards. He's going to come by and help me, and got a nice deal with him. Pretty much anything he digs out, he can take.
Oh, that's good. Well, with my shop, I've got it in the Florida room, which is an aluminum addition with glass windows. And it says it can hold up to 125 mile an hour winds, but you never know. So yeah.
Now, all those wind tests is in perfect laboratory conditions. There's nothing that takes that wind and does this.
Exactly.
Or throws a tornado in there. I mean, I was in the construction architect business for 40 years. They'd come talk to you about, this is such and such, such and such. So yeah, we'll go down to Bayou where we built one exactly like you said, and it's gone. You know.
Yeah.
So, but that's Mother Nature's way. You know. All right, who's been turning this week? Oh, I see. I see there.
I did get some new tools.
I'm sorry.
I did get some new tools.
Oh, what'd you get? What'd you get? What'd you get?
Well, I saw these on Cindy Drozda's page, where she was using these to set up her platform.
I have one of those.
Tractors. And they had them on this one site, buy two, get the third free. And I don't know if they're still making these or not, but these ankle gauges are amazing. They even have half degrees in there. So I like that. Yes, they're his. So I don't know if they're still making them or not, but I figured I'd get them while the getting was good. And I also got, hang on, where did I put them? I put them away safely. I got a couple of new turning tools from Cindy Drozda. And of course, those little things so I can just put them in handles and stuff. So forward to go out there and making handles.
All right, good. All right. You know, making your own shop tools is really a bonus in what we do. You get to pick the shape of handle, and I used to get a lot of calls about folks wanting to talk wood turning. And since I've retired out of the business and slowed down some of that stuff, I sort of miss it. But one of the things I'd get is, how do I shape a handle? It's so easy to shape a handle. You pick up one, it's in your shop, and you like it. You like the feel of it. You like the length of it. You like the grip on it. Copy it. That's it. It's that simple. Don't do all those ridges and cuts and swells and all. That's good in a textbook. It is, but it should be left in a textbook sometimes, because I don't think I've ever grabbed a tool the same way twice. You haven't either. It's a reflex in human nature. It's when you grab it, you move your move a hand, on a handle, you choke up on it for making little bitty cuts, reach out so you can get some leverage for larger cuts. You're going to go back and forth on it. If you start putting hindrances in it, you're going to have hindrances. And so I've always stuck with the analogy is, if it feels good, copy it. And the best wood to use, go to the hardware store and buy handles for a wheelbarrow. Yeah, or a post hole digger. Go buy replacement handles for a wheelbarrow or post hole digger. It's going to be hardwood. It's going to be straight grain, and it's already been seasoned or dried. So you're starting off with a fairly dry piece of wood that, number one, at 90% round. Number two, it's going to be about the right size. You can size it down for you if you want, but it's the best way to get good wood to make a good handle. And you can Art Deco it, you can burn it, you can emboss it or whatever. I've been sitting here for a couple of days making these little boxes.
That's wise carver. I like it.
Yeah, and that's my brother-in-law. And there's 4 adults in that family. So I made 4 sets of those slate coasters. And I got these off Amazon. And I found some for my 2 daughters and some other friends. And I'm just doing for Thanksgiving gifts, for Thanksgiving dinner gifts. I'm doing the engraving, and that's permitted on my current medical regime. That's permitted because I can set it up, and I got to hit the safety button over here by the computer to turn it on. And if I don't hit it again a certain amount of time, it'll shut itself down or just pause. So it's a fairly safe way to do it. right now, if I crank up the lathe, I think I'd have the crash crew out in the front of the house. All right, let me plug up a few more things here. Somebody's got a situation or a talk or a question or want to show off something, let's hear about it. Come on, jump in. Remember the rules are it's your club.
I'd just say hi. I missed last week and I hated it, but I went back and watched it. Had a good meeting last week. Sorry,
Sure.
I missed it.
Oh yeah, we missed you. Did you have a note? Do you have a note? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
We were traveling back on Wednesday night last week from North Carolina, so that I could be at a funeral on Thursday. So it was still a good trip, but cut short by something we didn't have any control over.
Yep, it's true. We don't have any. So we have Johnny Hughes doing a demonstration tonight. I don't believe we'll have Dane in with us tonight. He says he's having some communication problems from where he's at. He might pop in, but we have the demonstration with other folks lined up. I haven't seen Brenda in yet.
Not yet.
Looking for Brenda to help me with the gallery tonight. But I know my backup's sitting right there, beard and everything.
I'm here.
I know. Last week was like everybody left.
That's what I understood. Yeah.
Yeah.
I even checked in with Dane on Thursday and he said I wasn't there either. So.
Oh. We got pictures of a dock he reworked or rebuilt, but apparently he's got service like I have service that in this room I have good service, in the kitchen I got lousy service, and
Wow.
that's 10 to 14 feet away, you know. But you know, we went to that Mobile One wireless indoor system, and they've upgraded it and such. And when I talked to a clerk the other day on the phone, they're going to send me a different kind of upgrade. And I don't know that, you know, if the tower's not close enough to get the service out of, I don't know how many upgrades they can do, but we'll keep trying. I'm almost on the verge of. I watched AT&T put fiber optic connector box across the road.
Yes.
Yeah. Billy, you're looking good, man.
Hey, thank you. You too. Like you lost some more weight, Eddie.
I have. I'm at a probably a 10-year low.
That's good.
When I get on the scale, I call my wife. Get in here. I don't want to lie to you. Come see it.
The problem you have with the Wi-Fi in your house could be caused by the wiring. What wiring in your electrical walls are.
Okay, I'm in a 100-year-old house. They're copper. Yeah.
But how much copper and
Oh, really not a lot. The house is very poorly wired. It's an old home, and it had maybe 3 outlets in each room. And when we added the window air conditioners and took out the central service, I had to put 110s under all the windows and the baseboards, so we could, you know, we wouldn't be overloading the regular house circuits. When we moved in, they had 4 fuses for the whole house. 4 fuses.
Oh my.
sounds like my house.
Yeah. I brought in. We were here 1 week, and I brought in an electrician that was doing a job for me at the hospital, and said, "Okay, what can we do?" And he said, "I'll be back in 2 hours." Went off, came back with a huge cabinet, and we broke every law there was in disconnecting service and reconnecting the new service. But as he said, we'd get it okay, but we got to get it done. I mean,
Yeah.
I was afraid of that. I grew up in a house with small fuses, and my dad like to fried my butt one day, and he said, "I'm going to go and turn that breaker off, that fuse off, so you can fix that outlet." And I figured he went inside and did that. No, he went inside, got a glass of water and a couple of cookies. He hadn't gotten to the fuse panel yet. came out. I'm sitting on the floor across the room in the shop, and he said, "Oh, he got you? Oh, maybe I didn't get that turned off early enough." But that's okay. As long as
That
you,
just tickles.
if you can complain about it, you're okay. Huck Joe says, "Happy 37th birthday." No, it's 73. 73, Huck. I'm
Today your
catching
birthday?
tomorrow.
Oh, mine is today.
Oh,
Well,
yours
happy
though.
birthday.
Happy birthday, Charlie.
Happy birthday.
Well, happy birthday
Happy
early
birthday
to you.
both of you.
you.
Happy birthday to both of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Happy birthday.
I'm
Miss Sue,
catching.
you doing all right? Miss Susan, you doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Okeechobee was not a good place to go, but you know, we all learn.
I'm catching hell from my two daughters because I sent out a message to them that said, "Alert, alert, alert." The 74th anniversary of my birth is coming up tomorrow, and they both wrote me back, "You're only 73." And I said back, I said, "You don't think my daddy partied the day I was born? This is the 74th celebration."
Right.
He had two girls. He had to wait for two girls to get by before he got a son.
Oh, here's one of the tools that I got.
Oh, what you got?
It's for doing the sides of small vessels and doing a flat bottom.
Pull it
And
back a little bit to you so you can see the profile. There you go. All right.
how's that?
Oh, I know what that is. Yeah, it's negative rake, huh? Isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
is.
yeah.
And it's rounded on this side, so it follows the curve of your vessel, and you can just bring it down. And you can do that on either side. On one side, it'll give you an oval thing, and on this side, it would be square.
Looks like a
And,
skew with a rounded edge.
Yeah, exactly. And it's Doug Thompson steel. So I
That's
got,
nice.
and then I got, I didn't have a 40/40 bowl gouge, so I got a 1/2 inch bowl gouge 40/40.
Did Christmas come early?
Think so.
You know, sometimes Christmas needs every day. But yeah, that's what I got myself.
Nice. That
I love her
tool,
vest. I really do.
that tool you got from Cindy Droz, that scraper, I saw hers probably 10, 15 years ago, and I came home and modified one of my old scrapers to copy it because I had
What?
those old cheap Home Depot scrapers.
Okay. Well, you know, just watching some of her videos, it gives you a lot of on how you can upgrade your own tools and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah,
And-
she did.
And and instead of making one, I know I could have made one out of a screwdriver, but I wanted a pointer tool, and this is done with Doug Thompson's. So I'm happy about that too.
Is that the 3-point? The 3-point?
Yes. And I know that I could have made it out of an old screwdriver, but it wouldn't last. The tip wouldn't last as long. So,
I had a.
I'm on Thompson Tools right now. I'm trying to find that. You remember, did that come from Thompson Tools, and what category was it?
you go to Cindy Drozda's site.
Oh, okay. It was special. He's
She-
making a special for her.
I don't know. It's just a 1/4 inch blank.
No, I meant that one that the scraper,
Oh,
the very
the scraper-
first one you showed.
the first one.
Yeah,
Talking about the 3-point tool?
yeah.
No. He's talking about the negative rake that I just stabbed myself with. This one.
That one.
That's it's Doug Thompson steel. Then she grinds them. And
Okay.
send-
Okay,
and
because
this-
I was on his website trying to find it. I couldn't.
yeah,
That's
she
why.
grinds it she gets the tool steel from him.
Yeah.
She them and then she sends them out.
Yep.
And her price is relatively very good. I thought all of her stuff was good.
Yeah.
So, and her tiny vessels are phenomenal. So eventually.
All right, thank you, Sue. And right now Cindy's on a long bicycle trip, so she might not catch her in the shop this week.
Yeah, she's in Colorado.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Go ahead,
My
Charlie.
lathe is dying and I'm in the market for a new one. Is the one-way 1224 any good?
Yes, I used one for about a year and I liked it. I really did like it. Number one, where it came from is a family-owned business.
Yep.
Number two, if you got a problem, you can call them. And number three, you don't have any problems. So you won't call Suzanne at all. I liked it. Now I wanted more range than the 12, and a good friend of mine gave me this 2436.
Well, I ain't got no good friends like that.
I went over to teach the guy to turn. He was having some muscular problems, and I went over and worked with him a couple of times. And he called me one day, said, "You still looking for that lathe?" Yeah. And a couple of days later, he delivered it. It's from an estate sale.
Hey, Nicholas, I'm in a meeting.
Okay. Who do we have there? All right.
I wished I'd have found your videos, Captain, before I bought my lathe. I'd have never bought it.
What'd you buy?
I bought what you said you'd rather have a root canal without Novocaine.
Do you have a Grizzly?
Yes.
Oh, I've been off. I have not had anything nice to say about those folks since I bought my dust collector from them maybe 20 years ago. And I had to use crescent wrenches to put it together because the bolt for this was metric, the bolt for that was standard, the bolt for this was, and they were the weirdest things. And I just, after a few minutes, I said, "Oh, the hell with it." I went to the hardware store and got all new hardware so I could put the thing together. I figured if I used that and didn't get it tight, it'd fall apart.
I had a Grizzly bandsaw and it's great. So I figured, well, I'd give it a try. Big mistake.
Yeah.
How long have you had it?
5 years. And you cannot get, even when it's still under warranty, you can't get service from Grizzly. They have all kinds of excuses, but they won't help you.
Well, a lot of times companies do it just for the buck. That's all, just for the buck.
Fairly good service out of them for a couple of problems I had, but it might be the product.
Yeah, can figure. One of my doctors the other day said, you got to worry about it when they're only in it for the check. If they're only in it for the check, you got to worry about it. Because we were talking about rehab centers, and if somebody wants me to change, not me, not my wife, somebody in my scheme of things thought I'd like to go someplace else, I'm not going anyplace else. I'm in with the best in the state, and there's a reason. So I enjoy it. And really, it's like being with family you like. It is. Oh, wait. Matt Harber says he's got something for the gallery. Matt, if you talk to me, I can find you and we will do that.
Certainly. I'm here. Can you hear me, Eddie?
I got you now, bud.
All right. Let me, good evening, everyone. Let me switch to, I got into my finishing area this week, and I've got a whole bunch of things that I've finished. So I thought I'd show a couple of them. So this is a natural edge bowl with a pedestal.
Very nice.
I like that.
Thank you. And I did this one. I built a little fixture to make this. I don't know if you guys remember that, but it was something to cut out little pieces out of a bowl edge. So this is box elder. But
I remember that. I remember the tool, and I like what it did.
Yeah, I'm really happy with the effects. I had it right here. It is. Yeah, it's basically this little fixture here. It's got a piece of plastic rod that I like, 1.5-inch plastic rod that I bought on Amazon, and I clamp it to my bandsaw table, and it lets me do things to the insides of bowls on the bandsaw. And that demo is on our list, of course. So I've got a couple of things to show. This is what I do with goblets that break. So I put them on my vacuum chuck, and I trim them off, and I finish them and make them little cups. And I got another one that I did here that started off as a natural edge goblet and broke also. So
well,
they
that's
don't
a
break
pretty
much.
piece.
Yeah, this is silver maple. It's really pretty. I don't know if y'all can see that bark, but it lends itself well to this.
What'd you finish that with?
These are all finished with Minwax Helmsman's spar urethane clear gloss. So this is what that looks like when it doesn't break.
Oh, beautiful, Matt.
Thank you. Yeah, I love it. It's the same wood, silver maple. I don't know if y'all can see that grain in there, but it's really pretty.
Oh, it is pretty.
Oh, look at that.
So and silver maple is a soft maple. So we were talking to somebody last week who was asking what his maple was.
Yeah.
So there's another branch that I take like 3-inch branches and make these out of it, things that people chuck away. So throw on the fire. But this one was, I offset it a little bit in the lathe to get the slant on it. So, cause I think that's interesting and it helps sell the pieces and it's fun. And this piece, this one is also finished. This is cherry. I think this is the one I did in a demo where we lost the video on it or something. There was problems, but I was demonstrating thin turning, and this is like, 1/8 of an inch. It's really thin.
Beautiful,
So,
though.
and this is another piece of another natural edge bowl with a pedestal on the bottom of it. I think this is cherry. Yeah, it's cherry. So that turned out nice too. And then I did the same thing with a piece of walnut that I got out of somebody's firewood pile.
Oh, wow.
That's
So
really got some great color to it. I like that.
Yeah,
Does.
thank you. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. And like I tell people, if I'm coming over to your house, first thing I'm doing is looking at your firewood pile.
I saw a wood turning friend outside the hardware store down the street, and he was looking through the firewood bundles that they sell, all shrink wrapped. He was trying to negotiate with Evelyn to buy just one piece. He had one piece in there he was looking at that he wanted. She just pulled it out and gave it to him.
I love
you're
it.
looking at.
Well, that's a lot of those firewood bundles are basically throwaway from milling operations. As somebody mills a bunch of boards out of a log, and then they got these pieces that are mostly bark that they can't really use to build something with. And then, so they just cut it up and sell it as firewood bundles. So it's extra money to them, and it's throwaway. So I got some of the neatest pieces I did with a lot of bark in them. I got out of fire, basically out of a fire pile. I had a buddy of mine has a portable mill here, and they were milling up a bunch of hickory. And I've shown those pieces before. I don't have them handy right now, right here, but you get this piece of log that looks like that in cross section. Well, you can turn a shallow bowl out of it and get all this bark along the edge. And it is, if you got good bark, like the hickory or elm or silver maple or any of those woods with really cool thick bark, even cottonwood, if you can stand to do all the sanding you have to do to it. But all of that stuff, I look for all of that.
Yeah, I saw Cindy had me with her running an errand today, and there was a guy taking down a huge sycamore tree in the yard. Oh. And I saw one of the turners in a club I used to belong to parked on the side.
Sycamore's beautiful. That's just gorgeous wood.
He was waiting. He's the dog. He's the one that fill his trailer up and take it to the next club meeting and sell it all. But he has called me. I have such and such. You think we can cut that up? There's no we about it. He wants it cut up. But it was good. They had a crane lifting the. I mean, this is a big sycamore. They had a crane reaching over the house to grab it. I just thought they were trying to grab too much. I would never have let that operator swing that chunk of wood over my house. That we would have boxed it down a little bit more. All right, we're doing a little gallery, if you wish. Jim Selby is in Jacksonville, Florida. Jim, what you got tonight, bud?
They were cutting up some pieces of hickory. They were cutting up some pieces of hickory at the shop where I work, and I taped them all together and poured resin in them, and then turned a vase.
I like that.
Right.
From the bottom, you couldn't tell what you flipped up. That is gorgeous. When you flipped
Great
it up,
idea.
that was a whoa.
And then I'm doing the demo for Northeast Florida this week or next week. And there's what I'm making. This one's made out of sycamore. The one I'm going to do for them is going to be made out of walnut. And this is sycamore, but the only thing it's got on it is morning wood lube. So, but it turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
I like the shape. Looks good.
That's it.
All right. Good to see you, Jim. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. I'm going along the chat right now, and I see Tom Kinney in Tallahassee. And that's a night time you talk to me, I can find you, and we'll do that.
Here I am. Can you hear me?
Now I got you.
Several years ago, I did an emerging bowl project, and it came out pretty good. And I gave the project away, and I said, I need one of those for myself. And I went back and revisited the project and made a big mess of it. But I want to show what I got. And let's see. This is my first attempt, and I'm gonna keep trying until I get it right. But it's a fun little project, and it's out of a piece of walnut.
Nice.
And
I like the lines.
I finished it with Mahoney's walnut oil. And the second piece I have is a piece of cherry.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you got to back the camera up, man. Go stand next door. That is a nice looking piece. Whoa!
Very nice.
A friend of mine called and said, I got a whole pallet full of cherry. Why don't you come get some? And I took them up on the offer, and I got to show it to him last night at our club meeting.
I like that's a pretty piece.
Look at that. Beautiful.
Yeah. A lot of character in it, really is.
Thank you. And I don't know, is that engraving showing up right side on my screen? It's backwards.
No,
Yeah, it's
right.
correct for us.
Okay. And that was finished with the Parfix 3408.
Oh, I was going to ask you because that's a slick looking finish.
Yep. It's smooth as can be. It came out very nice. I was real pleased with it. That's all I got tonight.
And Tom, it's not the finish that you put on it, it's what you put it on.
Yes.
You had your wood. No ridges, no flat spots, no grooves. And the light catches all those little defects. There aren't any in this one. It's beautiful.
Very good. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Quite welcome. Yeah. I normally get those questions a lot is what's a great finish to use? Sharp tools and sandpaper.
Mm-hmm.
And that should end it. The chemicals you put on will enhance the finish you've created. If you turn something and you have some tears in it, I don't believe there's a finish in the world that can cover that up and fix it. I don't believe so. But if you get rid of them and I'm an advocate of using a scraper for final passes. It's not aggressive. It's fairly safe to use on almost all woods, and it gives you, I like this, and I get hell from this sometimes. Most folks will go on a scraper flat, straight on a tool rest, and make passes. I don't like that because I don't have any control over where that bit or that edge will go. So I kick it up on the shoulder a little bit, and then I pass it along. Number one, I reduce that cutting edge to just that one edge out front. And I'm not cutting with all the face of the scraper. Although larger scrapers, I have a larger radius. But if I just kick it up on the shoulder and pass it along, I'm getting a smooth pass. And I like, it's a final cut. I like to do those light little sweeping passes. It doesn't leave tool gouges. It doesn't leave the tear out. It doesn't leave burnishing from the tool. I mean, you make a great pass with a 3/8 bowl gouge down the side, but you're riding the bevel. That's burnishing all the way down. When you get done with that, you have to open those pores to get that surface equal before you do anything else to it. So if you press down real hard and make a really slick cut, just do that. Wet it a little bit. Yeah, I talk about spitting on your work. Wet it a little bit. Wait a minute and feel it. And if it feels like fuzz, you compress the wood. And that's why sometimes folks will say, why would I want to start with 80 grit or 100 grit? The term I would use is I want to homogenize the surface of the piece. I want to make everything I turned equal. The sides, the bottom, the flute, the tip, the nut, everything be equal. All right. So we've leveled the field, and I keep stepping up in the grits to where I want to fine tune it. So instead of having the fairway done, I'm going to keep working on it until I have the putting green done. And that's how I would work my finishes. And how far will I go? How far do you really think you can go? Ask yourself
if you want to.
Yeah. Yeah. If you really nutso about it, and I don't want to offend anybody, and you think you need to go to 600, 800, or 1,000 grit on wood, consider what the material is. Consider how hard the wood is. Consider the oils and the speed and the cut. Take all that in consideration. You might find out that you can't go there with that piece of wood. It's like taking yellow pine. I make ink pens out of yellow pine. I can sand this with 180 and get an acceptable ink pen out of it. Then I just lap it out. Just take sandpaper and lap it out. Take any marks off of it. I like it. Number one, it's a 1 cent pen. But if I sand it more and more and more, it's a softwood. It's yellow pine, so SYP, Southern Yellow Pine. It won't hold up to any fine sanding. It's going to move. So I get that. I sanded this up to such and such grit. You might have polished it.
Yeah, I do shaping with 100 grit. So I might change the shape slightly with the 100 grit when I'm sanding 80, 100 grit. I mean, I don't think I have 80 in the shop, frankly, but I do some shaping, like maybe I want to round it a little more rounded edge on a goblet or something like that,
And if you have any highs and lows in the outside of your piece, you can massage them out a little bit by sanding them out if you can't scrape it or cut it. And remember, an old thing I had a guy teach me a long time ago, and he was right on the money, and I still use it today. When you're looking to see if something is round, take a pencil and do the pencil test. That's it. So all you have to do is a pencil test. If it stops, even minusculely stops, that's a flat spot. And when a light hits this spot and this spot, it's not going to hit this spot. So that's live, dead. So if you just take that pencil, and I mean, it's hold it in your fingers like this and just roll it. And you're going to feel it in your fingers. And when you hit that bump, you're going to know it. And that's the spot you're going to have to go look at. Now, one way is if you use that sandpaper, I don't want to get way off track, but if you use that sandpaper, if you use it on something soft like this, paper will conform somewhat to the contours. But if you use it on a harder, I super glued it on there, darn it. A harder pad with less give, you can cross it and get rid of some of those bumps. And you got to watch. These can be terrible for sanding. These things right here, these tools God gave you, they can be terrible sometimes because the pressure will vary from where the paper goes across, and your fingers will adjust. Even if you put the pad paper on a board or one of those pads they sell that looks like a figure eight or whatever, you would have a more control over the flatness. And we're talking the exterior of a bowl. Sometimes you can't see those flashes on the interior, but they'll be there. And I used to hate to do be working gallery at club meetings, and the guy would say, "Look how nice that bowl is." So you turn it over, and it's full of tears and gouges and marks, and there's that nasty little dimple in the middle where they didn't unride the tool when he got to the bottom. And he said, all bowls have that. It took a lot of restraint not to say, find one on that table that's like that. You know, those guys have been working on their presentation and technique. Totally different. When you go into the bottom of a bowl, if you can't control the tip on a tool or an Ellsworth or whatever gouge doing it, change the tip. Go to a bottom feeder. Bottom feeder's got a very short sweep back on it, very short. And what it allows you to make that sweep down in there without rolling the tool up. When you roll the tool up, you're going to dish that bottom out, unless you really understand your tool. And you have that, it's either a dimple or a nipple. But if you go across it, you can walk right through it with a bottom feeder. The other thing is, if you do that on the inside of a bowl, you go from the bottom and come to the top with a scraper. Cross the bottom, cross it. Pick it back up, bring it across. Always cross the bottom. Don't start in the middle because you're going to have the dimple or the nipple because it's hard to control. If you pass over it, you get these little curly cues, and I love it. I'm nutso about using the scraper for those final cuts. Just nutso. If you got something to show on gallery, go ahead. We're going to have Johnny Hughes in a little while doing a demonstration for us. I imagine he's hooked up with Trace.
If I may, Eddie, Nick Agar showed me a cut with the deep fluted bowl gouge, where he started under the rim and then went all the way across the bowl. And what he was doing is he was rolling the tool to change where it was cutting. So, and by the time he got to the middle, it was just this smooth right across the surface cut, very consistent, no dimple. And it takes a little practice to get it, but basically, I mean, I'm undercutting a rim and I'm starting under the bowl and then just rolling the tool across the surface. So you're not going straight at the center. You've got the tool at a little bit of an angle, so you're getting a shearing cut all across the bottom, but you're not cutting with the tip. You're cutting with the flute just, below the tip, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. That's a good move, and he's right on the money. What I'm seeing is some, I won't say rookie, I won't say novice turners, is they don't understand how to control the tool once it gets. I mean, that's the furthest piece that you're turning, and it's easiest to cut. So that's where you get the nipple or the dimple. And if you lighten up on that cut. Now, I keep hearing people say you start from the middle and you come up. Okay. In the real world, it's a great idea, but most turners can't adapt to that. They're going to hog and go down and down and down and down and down. And if they have drilled or pre-drilled the bowl with a Forstner bit and they're working that bit out, they normally lose track of the depth, and that's when we get that dimple. Billy Burt is checking in with us. Billy Burt, There he is.
Hey, everybody. Let's see if I can get some, if I can find it. All right, let me see if I got enough light from that coming over here. It's not much. I did this today. Just apricot or nectarine. I'm not sure what it is. I've never made a wand before, but it's that time of year. And as I was walking past this stack of limbs that I use to fill voids sometimes, this piece of apricot jumped off the stack and landed at my feet. And I heard this voice in my head say, "Turn me into a wand." So that's what I did. All of these little bumps are where there was branches. And so what I did is I just took it down to and left the knot areas proud. It's not straight, so it took some doing to get this, because it was wonky. I mean, I had it off center in all kinds of ways, but it was fun, and it's a good little project for practicing your shoes. Yeah, it's a good little project for practicing your skew skills. Say that fast 3 times.
I think it's neat.
I left bark on it in a few places just because I had to. Otherwise, it would have looked funny. But it's really smooth. The finish is just Howard feed and wax, but it's about 15 inches long.
That'll make somebody happy.
Yeah, I figured.
Pretty nice, dude.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Nothing special.
All right. A little voice in my head says, "Billy, wave that thing and make me skinny."
Yo también, Ed.
All right. Casey is asking one of the season turners how to get that dimple out from the inside of the bowl for the base of a simple spindle turn piece. All right, got a request for a demo there, folks. And we have a lot of good members. We have like 65, 70 people in here tonight. We'll find that demo. I will turn it over to Dane Chandler, and he'll find us somebody to do that. And it's not a trick. It's a system and a technique. And it's all in how you read how the tool cuts. Someone called me a while back because I made a comment that roughing gouge is a bad name for a tool. It is. That's a gouge. It's a different configuration of a gouge. If you learn how that gouge cuts, it's an awesome tool. If you think it's only for roughing, you're missing the bus. And the bus is gone because it can be a beautiful cutting tool. I want to brag. I did this, the whole pen, except those lines right there. I put in with my the tip of my parting tool. That whole pen, roughing gouge, soup to nuts. It's out of Southern Yellow Pine, and it's got the I drilled for the bit. I mean for the refill, and I did it because I wanted to turn about 50 of them. And I can't do that now, but I wanted to turn about 50 of them and put the little cancer cross thing on them so that one of our friends who's in chemo again and again and again and again and again, she likes to pass out some of the things the wife and I generate. I did key rings last week on the laser engraver. Whew. I could have won. I could be mayor. I can be mayor of Baton Rouge any day I want to. I'm going if I keep giving away those key rings, and it costs maybe $1 from Amazon. I have something to share from Doug Miller. Doug, talk to me, sir.
All right, let's see. There we go. Just want to show. I haven't turned any for 2 weeks between hurting my back and traveling and whatnot. But I did visit my dad the other day, and he had tuned in to watch something, but he saw Matt's demo on dot painting, and there we go.
Oh, and you did that on a piece of slate.
Yeah, it's a piece
Sweet.
of slate. It's one of those slate coasters. You can get them on Amazon. I think he got his from either Michael's or Hobby Lobby. I think you can see on there, he didn't just, it's not just white. He's got blue on there too.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
He has not gotten to the layering the dots yet, but he's having a blast doing this. And, you know, it's just, Matt said it. It's really quite simple, but you can make some pretty intricate designs with it.
Yeah, and there's a ton of how-to videos on YouTube. If he has any questions, just give him my number and have him call me.
Yeah. Well, you know, I sent those pictures to you, Matt. This is just one example. He's probably made 20, 25 of these slate things. He did some tea light holders. He's just having a blast with it.
Cool.
It's beautiful.
Looks nice, Doug.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun. He's done more pieces than I have. Then if he's done 25 of them.
Yeah, well, about 20, 25 of these slate pieces. And he's coating that. It's that shiny. He's putting some, don't even know what it is. Something somebody gave him. Just a clear coat, a top coat kind of stuff that he sprays on, puts a couple of coats, gives it a nice shiny finish, as you can see.
Almost looks like a Mod Podge.
Well, he's used that
that's not
before for other things.
sprayable.
Yeah, this is a spray. It's like a 3-ounce can. It's, you know, skinny, not very tall.
Okay.
It's a little expensive, but somebody gave it to him, so he's using it up by putting it on this slate. But again,
Well, I've discovered that the whole dot painting community is a lot like the wood turning community, and that everybody has a different idea what finish works best.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that stuff
anyway,
that they have, there's a clear coat that I think Rust-Oleum makes. It's a 2 times or a 3 times clear coat that works really well on that stuff. And
that's Rust-Oleum.
It's like anything else you paint. The trick is to get a couple of light coats down before you start putting any heavy coats down. So,
absolutely,
very cool.
Anyway,
Really
just wanted to
nice.
share that with you guys. It's, you know, what we do. Yeah, it's for us in the club, but it gets beyond our club real quick.
It does.
I love that.
That's great.
Thank you, Doug.
Okay, you're welcome.
I lost my screen there. What happened? Got to try to get back. Okay, I'm back. I jumped off the screen somehow. All right. Bob Grinstead's here from Mansfield, Texas. Bob, talk to me and I'll find you, sir.
Hey, yeah. Hey, guys. Just got a couple of bowls here. You can find me. Yep, there we go. This one is red oak. Back up here where you can see it. But it turned out pretty good. I wasn't really sure if I wanted to fume it or not. You know, if you fume it with ammonia, it makes it a darker color. But it still turned out fine, and you know, the Parfex finish on it looks good. So, but that one there's just a big red oak bowl. I have one more here. This one's pecan, and I don't know if you can see it. It's but it
See the fluting.
Almost calabash style.
Yeah, it's almost a calabash type style, rounded edges. They make a pretty bowl. This is a little thicker than I wanted, but you know, it still turned out fine. But that Parfex finish is still looks good. That's it. I just had a couple of bowls I wanted to show.
Looks good, Bob. Thank you, sir.
That pecan is beautiful.
All right. And I see a note here from Mr. Mark Sled. Mark, if you talk to me, we can find you.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We have you now.
Okay. The only thing I wanted to say is I've had 3 of my customers call me up and said that they heard on Worldwide Wood Turners that I was no longer involved in selling the Parfex products. That's totally false. I don't know where it came from, but I'm still in business.
We tried to dispel that when it happened. Yeah, it was wrong, and I think the direction was contact him and ask him, because that's the easiest way to get a lie to dispute it. But I'm glad you're still cooking it, and as you see just now, we had 3 or 4 folks in a row using that 3408 for finish. Just like you taught Ronnie Bonnet. It's quick, easy, and durable.
Great finish, Mark.
All right. Anyway, y'all are doing good. I can't, we've been on a big vacation, and my wife and I did get to AAW headquarters, and I got a chance to see the folks up there and see all the displays. And Tib Shaw went back in the archives, and she brought out 4 pieces that they have on permanent display made by Leon Thomas, who is now deceased. But I was very, very happy. I'd never been there. And if you get a chance to go up there, folks, go. It's a really interesting, it's a fun place.
It is. All right. Thank you, Mark. Glad you joined us tonight.
All right. Have a good one.
You too,
Mark.
sir. All right. Tim Hatch is with us, and let me do this. If we introduce you, you have to start talking, because I got this little bitty screen over there with 1 million pictures on it that I got to find you on. So Tim, talk to me.
Right here, Eddie. How you doing, everybody? So, I went to SWAT a couple of weeks ago, and I picked up this bowl. It was an unfinished bowl, and my wife said, "No, you're not touching that. That's mine." I mean, what the hell is a gourd turner, a gourd designer going to do with a unturned live edge bowl? Well, she came up with this great idea to incorporate a gourd up on top. This is going to be Madam Butterfly. It's not done yet. It's using that dot painting technique. She was doing dot painting a long, long time ago, but when I saw Matt, I showed her Matt's technique, and she's like, "Yeah, that's great. I do something just like that." I never knew she did, right? But it's going to have some additional wings and some other things coming out on the side there. And I asked her, I said, "You want me to turn those down?" She said, "No, the only thing we're going to do is make the tenon smaller so the gourd fits up on it. That way she has a nice stable base for whatever else she's doing there. And then she is going to put it up on the lathe and, of course, smooth out the sides and put a nice finish on the inside and the outside." But I thought that was pretty cool. And again, that goes with that similar dot painting technique, just like what Matt was talking about, using different colors and everything. But she's in the process of making wings and all the other happy stuff that goes along with it right now in her little she shed and her art room there in the house. So I've been laid up for the last week, so I haven't been out in the shop. I've been lazy butt, not doing anything, but I figured I'd show her work for a change. So
good. We like it. We like it.
It looks great.
Very cool, Tim.
Yeah.
You could do the dot paint. You could do the dot painting in your lap, in your chair.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. Unfortunately, no, that trip to the emergency room this weekend, I've been on codeine all week and hadn't been able to get in the shop at all. So I finally saw my doc today, and she authorized me to get up off that crap, and maybe tomorrow I'll start doing some work again. But it's been a fun week for me.
Tell your wife that's a beautiful piece. I'm looking forward to seeing the finished product.
You and I both. It's going to be put up on our little vendor thing here in the first part of November when I got that turning demo. So, yep. Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Tim. Good seeing you, sir. All right. You have something to show tonight? Go right to the chat, type in "I have something to show," or "I have something," or "Hey," or whatever. And I have a couple of co-hosts working with me tonight that help us kick you in. But the deal is, like I said, when we introduce you, talk, because I've got these little screens that got to pop up that I see when you're talking. and then we'll go to you. In a little while, Johnny Hughes is going to do a demonstration for us. I would remind everybody, take notes if you need to, on Wednesday, October 26th, we will be doing a show called Tips and Tricks. We did this about 2 months ago, and we had some fantastic input from members who had ideas on everything you can use in your shop, tools you can make, things you can change, the ways you do things, what you finishes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, all down the lines. It's an open door. It really is. If you want to show somebody something you came up with that works for you in your shop, doesn't matter. Even if it copies, even if it's like somebody else's tools, but does the same thing, accomplishes the same cut, show it. Help somebody else out, just like you got helped out. Okay. Joe Duncan says there's a raised hand that'll move people to the top of the list of participants. Yeah, but can you see that hand? I can't. All right. But we'll do it any way we can. Terry is with us right now. Terry, what do you have, sir?
Yeah, I got a couple things. You find me there, did you? You still looking?
I got you. Oh, no, I got you.
You got me.
Yeah, we got you.
Several different things I've been playing with. And a couple of weeks ago, we had a learn and turn at the shop at the clubhouse, and what we do once a month. And we got a young lady that we've been teaching, and she's real small. And I've been talking to Joaquin, telling him that she looks like chicken wings, and we tried to build a stand to get her up to the lathe. And Joaquin talked to me yesterday, and he says, I got this solved. He says, somebody donated a lathe to us, and I'm in my shop. I called her up and asked her to measure her elbow, and I'm building a stand just for her. That's what kind of a member we have with Joaquin. He's really great. He puts so much forward into the club that I really like having him as a friend. Yes. But to show a few things, we got a wig stand challenge 2x4s. I usually don't like to do them because I don't think they're that pretty, and I like to put more into them. But the club has got something set up with some woman that teaches a art class, and they asked for them like that so that the art students could paint them. So I made like 7 of those. That's what kept me busy for yesterday. And then last weekend I was out riding and I found a log, tree, whatever it was. Wasn't sure what it was. Joaquin assures me that it's hackberry from the photographs I sent him. And this is a tray that I made out of it.
Whoa. That is beautiful.
And, it's sure got a lot going on.
Gorgeous.
And I made another one out of the other half of this log. And I wanted to show it to Joaquin and take a picture of it. And I set it down on the lathe, and the tendon was making it wobble. So I went ahead and cut it off, and I wasn't done sanding it. So I said, well, that's not good. So I said, I probably won't monkey with it. So I brought it in the house and told my wife that I was going to just go ahead and put it in the raffle and give it away. Well, she gave me the stink eye, and I haven't seen it since. So I don't know. I guess she likes it. And then I was out this afternoon and made another one of these little boxes that I made before. Just a stick that I picked up alongside the road. It's got a lot of character to it. It's really pretty. And it fits a little snug, but it's just a little box, and I made it a top like I made the rest of them. And with the heartwood in there, the way the heartwood comes off to the side, the top wobbles quite a bit, but this thing will spin forever. I don't know what it is about it being off-centered, but the wobble keeps on going longer than any I've ever made, I think. But it makes another little box, and I got another big natural edge bowl I tried to make out of this. I did make out of this wood. It's about 14 inches in diameter, maybe 7-8 inches deep. And the pedestal bowls that I showed before, I didn't plan on it being one, but it might wind up to be on a pedestal because I got it really close to being done. And I got a feeling that if I don't make it a pedestal, I'm going to make it a funnel. It's real close to the bottom. So next week, we'll see what that looks like. And that's all I got. And still appreciate everybody and all you do. Thank you, guys. We'll talk to you next week, maybe.
All right, Terry. Take care. And Terry was talking about building a lathe for a member of their club, and what Joaquin helps and all. I saw something put up by Martin. Now Martin's out of the UK, and he's been a member since day one. And Martin at his club has got Cade Bozier over there demonstrating for him this week. Yeah, Cade flew over to Manchester to do a demonstration for him. They're talking about how things got set up in a club meeting room and who did this and who did that, everything else. And he had the video or the Facebook was honest. The club is built by its members. It's not built by any organization, any group, any faction, any clique. It's built by its members. And that's what we try to do, is build our club by our members. And we've done so far. I think we've done good. I really do. And I appreciate it. Tonight. I didn't say anything about Sue goofing off having dinner someplace else. I didn't say a word about it. Really. But Sue was goofing off having dinner out and wasn't here to see some of this beautiful artwork we had come up. But Sue, nice to see you.
Nice to be here.
Wait. I said Sue, I meant Brenda.
Oh, yeah, Brenda.
Brenda's out goofing off.
It is nice to see Sue, though.
Yes, I had to go get something to eat.
Well, good to see you, Brenda.
Oh, well.
Boy, I'm gonna get serious trouble getting my women mixed up here.
We're
now.
Proceed with caution, Captain.
Oh, I'll
There's
tell you.
only one that'll get you in trouble.
Yeah, just don't call your wife Brenda or Sue.
Yeah, exactly.
My wife asked me.
Pen to your head.
Yeah, we had a little heart-to-heart talk the other day, sitting out the boat launch, looking at the lake, and she said, "What are you going to do after I die?" And I said, "I really don't know." And she said, "Have you thought about it?" I said, "I got to check with her and see what she got in the plans." Whoa! Almost had to walk home from the launch. Almost.
Oh man.
You just about took a swim. Huh?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, he didn't end up in the lake with me.
Catfish bait.
Yeah. I see that Ron Vince has got something. Ron, talk to us, buddy.
I do. I have something. You get
Good seeing you, sir.
You find me?
I got you now.
There we go. I have a telephone.
Hello.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Cool.
It's
Oh,
all
that's neat.
mahogany. It was all from small pieces of unused wood.
Nice.
So part of it was scroll saw, bandsaw, and turning.
Really pretty.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That came out cool.
Yes.
Yeah, it is cool. Very nice.
But it doesn't work.
Does it go long distance?
Plug it in.
No, not even short distance.
Not even
It'll
the
go
next
around.
room, huh?
Tonight is going around the world, okay? Tonight is going around the world. That is a pretty
Absolutely.
piece.
That is pretty.
Ron, if you
Thank you.
can, send me a photograph of it. I want to use it for the promo.
All righty, I can do
Yes,
that.
I like that.
All right, thank you. And folks, that offer stands for every member everywhere and all the time. If you take a photograph of the work you've done, email it to me at worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com. worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com, and we will use that photograph on our website, on our promos. In a while, I might be able to get back to doing the newsletter. It's a little bit, but I'm going to get back to it. But we do the promos, and every week I put a promo out. Well, this week I'm 4 photos short. 4 photos short of the number I need to do the promo. 4. This is telling you 4 guys or turners, ladies, whatever. I need 4 photographs. worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com. Matt Harber's got a little quick something. Matt,
Yes, sir.
I'm popping out. You talk.
I will. I'm gonna. This is just a little tip here. What I've got here is I've got a little craft torch. Uses butane. Okay. Sorry. And let me go to this camera. So I've got a piece of old piece of box elder here, and there's a saw cut here, and I don't want to take this bowl down any deeper. But one of the things I can do, yeah, is turn my torch on and just scorch it.
Fire is friend.
So, and now it's like, if I get it good and dark, and then I can make a couple of finishing cuts, you know, on my, on the outside and inside of my bowl, take care of this overburn. And now I've got a little feature here on my piece. So,
Sue, jump in here. What should he have available?
Fire extinguisher.
Fire extinguisher.
That's
Lack
right.
of water won't do it.
Hey, I got a tip about
This is a fun option. You know, it looks cool on, especially on woods like this. It almost looks like the bark. And if you can reduce the, you know, there's a little bit of overburn here, you know, and I can just make a couple of finishing cuts on there or sand it off or whatever. And it just looks like bark. And then I've got a, you know, a piece with an interesting little feature on it that you can't tell isn't bark. You know what I mean?
That's really nice.
So, but those, yeah, I love that little torch. I've been using it all day. So,
Nice.
All right.
Hey, I got a tip real quick about the fire extinguishers. Did you know you can kill yellow jackets with a fire extinguisher?
That's handy.
Yes, I took down a big old yellow jacket hive the other day and killed a bunch of them with a fire extinguisher. Because I
Did
ran.
they stay dead or did you just freeze them momentarily?
They stayed dead.
Okay.
I got I got one of those. I got one of those. It's taken me a couple of weeks to kill. It's in the ground underneath one of my fences. So I'll try the fire extinguisher too. I use the in-ground wasps and hornet stuff that seemed to work pretty good. So
I had a big one under the
Boiling water.
house I've been working on. I bought me a bee suit. I went and got it out. A couple days later, we found more bees. Couldn't find out there's another beehive.
Did you light the hive on fire first?
Nope, I scraped it out, dropped it into a cardboard box, and then burn it.
You people are just hard on those bugs.
Yellow
That's
what I'm saying.
Yes, yellow jackets, they had to go.
Yeah, yellow jackets have to go.
I had a bee suit on, flannel shirt, heavy blue jeans, and the suit was taped around my feet. They weren't going to get in it.
Yeah, so did they think you were one of them dressed that way?
I was an awful big bee. But now I gotta go out and do it again.
Her goal was to scare them off. That's why she did that.
But I heard bee suit and I'm thinking costume. So
yeah.
Yeah, it had full suit, full head. Yeah.
And it wasn't
yellow
striped, huh?
Well, you know
No,
how
it's striped.
at the end of the month, not the beginning, don't you?
What's that?
Halloween's at the end of the month, not the beginning of the month.
Yeah.
I just wait till dark and go out at night, spray them down.
Well, I've done that before too. That just makes them mad if you spray them down.
At night, they're usually sleeping.
Nope. No.
Oh, they never bothered me.
They still attack me.
yeah,
And
mine
you know
don't
what's
sleep at
grumpy?
night either.
I just pour boiling water down them.
They're a little quieter, a little less active, but they ain't asleep. Nope.
Okay.
Hey, we really got to get off this murder theft thing, really. But I remember as a kid, we had the regular bees nest to get up under on the rafters of the house, and my dad would get a pole and rag and the kerosene and go and burn them all off. And my little brother got the idea that he'll save my daddy some trouble and we'll do it one afternoon. I think he missed the point that we only did it at night.
Did he get stung?
Boy, did he ever.
Yes.
He was like a well-shot target.
Mhm. They don't like, especially don't like to be sprayed with the garden hose.
No.
One day, and
How do you know that, Brenda?
they stung me twice. Yeah, they got me in the side of the cheek here and on the shoulder that day. Yeah, but I won. I got
Washer
Well,
washer works great.
And she took no prisoners. That was
No.
it.
No.
Roger, I did get the picture of that offset vase. I am going to use that in a promo, Roger. I did get that. Ron, yes, somebody does have a birthday tomorrow. Ron says he heard that somebody has a birthday tomorrow. He does. And it'll be the 73rd.
4th.
74th. That's right. 74th celebration of my birth tomorrow.
Happy birthday, Eddie.
Happy birthday, Ed.
Thank you. Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Eddie.
Happy
Thank you.
birthday, Eddie. Happy birthday. You're catching up with me.
Who's gonna sing to him?
That's me.
Happy birthday to you.
There you
Happy
go.
birthday to you. Happy birthday, Captain Eddie. Happy birthday to you.
There you go. Yay.
Got it.
All right.
I can't even come down to New Orleans and buy you a beer, bud.
All right. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Just don't invite my boss.
You have to slip that past management, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Get this. She's taking me to a tea party, really an old English tea house tomorrow for my birthday. I can't have tea. We gotta find out they got some herbal or something without caffeine. Because I can't
Eddie,
have
are
any
you throwing
caffeine.
that stuff into the bay or what for the tea party? I thought we kicked the.
Yeah, well.
I thought we did that in Boston way back.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought we won that one too. But I was talking a few minutes ago about Cade Boger being over to Martin and the crew in Manchester doing a demonstration. Cade has done demonstrations for us, and early this evening, Billy Burt was talking about he did that that cane or wand that he made, and it's a really unique looking piece. As he was showing it in the beginning, I was thinking he carved some of that, but he said he turned it all. He offset it and allowed for the nature bumps to take their place. But he's got Cade going there, and Cade's done demos with us for SKUs. I didn't want to get off base for SKUs. And folks, if you're with us and you haven't seen one of Cade's demos on SKUs, it's on our website. It will definitely change how you work with a SKU. It will change it. And then he shows you work he does with that SKU. And then you want to think he's a liar because there's no way you can do that. He does it. He did it for us right there on the demonstration.
Birdhouse Bob, Birdhouse Bob's in the house.
I see that. See, Huck Joe says I'm just a
thought
kid.
I'd fly in and see how y'all doing.
Bob, good to see you, sir.
Good to see you too.
You turned anything this week?
Yes, sir.
You want to show it to us?
Yeah.
I bet it's a birdhouse.
We could make that a birdhouse, but it's really a hollow form. Piece of cherry.
That's cool.
Has a texture rim around it.
That's really
Oh,
pretty.
nice. But I did do some birdhouses. I didn't want to disappoint y'all. So.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, there was a spectre pipe at the top, and it's maple.
I love
and
that
walnut with the perch and the finial. And I got some curtain rod from my good buddy Land.
Oh, look at that.
It was a fluted curtain rod.
That's cute.
And I turned it with makes it look like little scallops on the side. And that's deer antler in the middle.
Ooh,
Oh,
Wow.
it's
nice.
pretty. but ain't
That's
so
really
good.
cool.
I got one with the spectre ply and the
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's cute.
shows it better there. And the curtain rod with the fluting on it.
That's cool.
That looks
Very,
That's
very
really
nice.
nice.
Bob. Very nice.
Thank you.
Yes.
For Bob living up to his name. Really
Just
nice,
chirping right
Bob.
along.
Chucking right along. Thank you, Bob. Beautiful work.
Thank you.
Anything else? Let Safety Sue give it.
You're up, Sue. You're up, Sue.
This week, other than thank you for walking the storm, let's talk about our ears. As we get older, we don't need any help becoming deaf. We do that all on our own. And even though you might not use loud equipment like an air handler or even a shop vac, just from the noise, a low noise such as your lathe, it eventually will affect your hearing. So it's recommended that you wear some kind of hearing, whether you like the earmuff stuff or the stuff that plugs into your ears that will wrap around your neck, but it must be able to handle 25 decibels or greater. So folks, be careful of your hearing. I don't want to have to say A all the time, or what did you say? I do that all on my own. So folks, be safe out there and don't forget your hearing.
Thank you, Sue.
Good, Sue. Thank you. That's Safety Sue. She did all right through the storm. Yeah.
Glad to hear that.
Thank you.
Glad to hear that too.
Where do you live, Sue?
Largo, Florida,
Oh, okay.
Tampa Bay. Tampa.
Well, I see you still got a house around you.
Thank heavens. Thank heavens.
Yeah.
Did you lose any trees?
Unfortunately, and we got 79-mile-an-hour gusts where I went, but nothing happened here other than a broken branch, and it was not thick enough to turn.
Hey,
So
everything is thick enough to turn. You can make small stuff.
You ever heard of toothpicks? Have you heard of toothpicks?
Yeah, I hear you.
You can make birdhouse purchase.
There you go. I could have, and it was red elm.
Oh, man.
Oh, that'd be
Yeah.
pretty.
All right. We'll save it. We'll save it. All right. Thank you,
I
Sue.
gotta show you something, Sue. I've been making gnomes today. So I make little toppers for the hats and little noses. So let me switch. Let me go over here and show you. This is out of shop pine. Cut to here. So these are my noses. Okay.
Oh, I like it.
And these are the little tops that go on the tops of the hats. That's not coming in
that
real
is
well.
Like
neat.
that's gonna be little spin tops.
Yeah, well, and it's got an 1/8 inch shaft on it, so it goes in the top. So let me grab one here. You know what? Let me turn this off. Sure, that's messing with things. So that's where it goes on the top of the hat like that, and it goes in a little 1/8 inch hole. You know, that's not even showing up. Let me switch to the other camera.
There we go. There it did.
Well, that gives me an idea.
Yep. So, and this is just shop pine. So I made a bunch of them today.
Cool.
So you can make stuff out of small bits of wood. So
That's a good idea.
Good. Nice, Matt. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Right. All right. We've done a little gallery tonight. We had a Safety Sue minute. We know Brenda's in the house and Doug is watching and Billy's locking up his shop and he'll be back in a minute. But in the meantime, we're going to do a demonstration. I'm going to go live and direct to Ocean Springs, Mississippi, live and direct. And that's where we're going to find Johnny Hughes. And I think he's got production assistants tonight. Johnny, you with us?
Yeah, but I wasn't set up for a demo tonight.
Uh-oh.
I had it down for the 19th.
I thought tonight was the tips and tricks one.
No, Dane gave me the 26th. Dane Chanley says, "How Johnny used demo tonight. He probably won't make it, won't be able to get back until he gets the end of the month." Rutro. Okay, I knew I should have asked.
I
You
got
know
it
what?
scheduled
Looks
for
like
19.
If
Matt
you guys-
Harber's in the shop.
Yeah, I could do, like I was going to say, I could do a quick demo if you want to see how to, somebody asked earlier about the insides and bottoms of bowls. I can show you that.
That'd be great. That's something came up and we settled it one evening. All right, that's what we're here for. We're going to go to.
I gotta get geared up here though.
Yeah, Matt Harber's with us live and direct, and we'll get a demonstration in tonight. If you have something you want to show tonight, something you want to go over, something you want to cover, explain, go through, this is a place to do it. It's your club, your meeting, and we're looking forward for your involvement. Yes, and I stick with it. This club is only made up of members. There's not a business behind us. There's no dues, no fees, no magazine, nothing. All it is you and me, and we're going to turn wood talk. Matt's gearing up for us tonight.
I'm good to go, Eddie. If you guys want to go, I'm good to go here.
You're live and direct, sir.
Yep. Okay. Let me switch to this camera here, my end camera. So this is a piece of wood that I was showing that bit on earlier. Let me zoom out a little bit. Let me see. Got dogs in the background. So this is a piece of box elder. It's got natural edge on it. And I'm going to use my deep fluted bowl gouge, Irish grind, shoulders ground back. That's all it is. And I'm going to make a cut that looks like this. I'm going to start here and work towards the middle. And the cut is all going to be the same. It's going to start like this. The tool is slightly angled, so I get a shearing cut on each cut. And I'm going to make, each cut is going to be, oops, I got to move this back. It's going to be larger. So the first ones are going to be short, okay? And then by the time I get to the outer rim, I'll be able to make a cut all the way along the bowl, okay? Questions?
Not me, I'm following. I'm making notes.
I have one question.
Go ahead, Charlie.
Oh,
I've got
Jim
two.
Selby.
What was that?
I said it's Jim Selby. Are you setting your tool rest below center and then angling your tool up to center?
My tool rest, I had it a little too low there at the very beginning. My tool rest is set so the very tip of my tool is at the very center of my piece. Okay. But the motion is going to be up above center. Okay. So what I'm doing as where I'm cutting changes, the shearing angle will change, and I want to keep the same shearing angle all the way through the cut. So I'm going to rotate the tool and roll the tool as I cut. Okay. Does that make sense?
That does. I was talking about just in general that you set the tool rest below center and then angle your tool where you're basically at center.
You can do that if you practice and get it right. It does take a little bit of practice to get that movement right, and everybody will do it differently, I'm sure. Okay. But what I want to do is I want to become, when I get to the bottom of the bowl, I want to be coming across the piece like this. So I'm not going right directly at the center with the bottom of my flute. The tool is rolled a little bit, so I'm getting a shearing cut and smooth shearing cut, so it doesn't pop as I get to the middle, if that makes sense.
I follow that, and if you, like he said, if you practice it and can use it, it'll work. But if you look at the manuals that come with the lathes, they say set it at dead center. No, set it where you can get the best cut out of that tool.
So the cut, like a lot of the temptation is to go right straight at the center. And then when you get to the center, you're going to get a little dimple in there. Y'all can see that dimple. But if I'm coming across like this, whoops, that's a very bad cut. If I'm coming across like this, then I can take that dimple right out. As long as I'm not going right straight at it with the bottom of the flute, but I'm coming at it with the tool tilted a little bit and riding the bevel. And you can come across it like that.
Anybody but me dodging the shavings?
And that's how that's done. I got a dimple. All right, so that's the basics of it. I still got a little bit of a dimple in the bottom to clean up a bit, but I've been hogging, as you can tell. Any questions so far?
How are you going? All right, now you led right to it. You've got a dimple or dibble,
Yep.
whatever. How are you going to get that out of there?
Okay, so the cut that I was talking about earlier, it looks like this. I'm going to start the tool. The handle is way over here, okay? And I'm riding the bevel. And I'm getting a shearing cut. Yeah, that screwed it up. So one way to get rid of it is to come back the other way. And what I'm doing here is I'm also getting a shearing cut with the tip of the flute. Let me get this a little tighter here. But that's the general idea. Am I still there? Questions?
You're still here. Go ahead.
It would have been perfect had you not been demoing, Matt.
Yeah, I know. It would have. What I need to do is do this.
You did a great job.
What I need to do is do this because I'm having trouble keeping it, and maybe here I need to drop the tool rest a little bit. And what I need to do, whoever asked that question earlier about dropping the tool rest, that's actually a pretty good idea. So whenever you change the tool rest, make sure everything rotates. But the goal is to get on here. Does this wash it out? Okay. The goal is to get on your bevel and ride it across like that to the center. Matter of fact, let me try something else here. Drop it a little further, get it a little closer, make sure nothing hits it. There it is.
That was it.
It was a true sweeping cut. That really was.
Yeah, but and that's basically the cut that I was talking about earlier. That the tool starts out over here, and I pull the tool handle all the way through. The tool handle is moving 120 degrees by the time I'm here coming across. So, but the important part is to not, like, the temptation. The first thing I learned when I first started turning was you get down in here and then you aim that flute right at the center of the piece. Well, the problem is when you get to the center of the piece, you've got a lot of cutting edge on very little wood. So it pops the whole thing off, and then you get a dimple or strands or whatever you get. But if all you do is turn the tool a little bit, so you're getting a shearing cut all across the bottom, I've got a nice, good, clean shear across the bottom of that. So that's how that's done.
And that was cut all the way down. There was no gouging. They were sliced cleanly, which means there's no grain tear. No,
Yes.
no voids, holidays.
Yeah, and it's a shearing cut all the way down, right from the rim, all the way down in. It's a shearing cut.
Yep.
Nice job, Matt. Nice job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Especially
All
on
right,
short
Matt.
notice.
Short. They can't get any shorter than that. Brenda says, "Look, Doug."
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
I gotta
Matt.
admit that I was thinking about it before I offered the demo. So at least I had a little bit of that mental stuff going on. So
All right. Well, thank you,
job,
Matt.
Matt.
Appreciate you jumping in.
you're welcome. My pleasure.
And
Thank you,
that's. Yeah, I apologize for this having a mix up on the demonstrators tonight. And because where Dane is at, we only communicate by text, and well, it happens. If you got something to show for gallery tonight, go ahead and pop it up. You got a question, you want to chat, you got a problem. I mean, we just now heard from Jim Selby that about the tool rest height. And it was, I did a demo at a art festival years ago, 10, 15 years ago. And I was turning finger tops because I had tons of scraps, and I put them all on I glued them all on spindles, so I could just unchuck, rechuck, etc. And I was cutting it, and this guy came up and he says, "I really don't know what you're doing, but you're not holding that tool right. You really need to read the manual on that." And he was as serious as could be. Now, my slice and cuts were working perfect, and I was doing the entire piece with 1 3/8 inch Ellsworth type gouge, and nice slicing cuts, and they came up beautifully. And later on, I asked him, "What do you mean?" He says, "Well, you're supposed to do this and this and this." And I said, that's the problem. These are individual pieces of equipment. They're used by individuals. Individuals have different techniques in everybody. So to say you have to do this to accomplish that might be a good general statement, but it's not the fact. It's not always true. I had a very good world-renowned turner come into a meeting I was hosting in Ponchatoula, Louisiana, and he turned 2 bowls, 1 demonstration, and he had 2 scrapers that he carried in his pocket to come in and do the demonstration. 2 scrapers and a diamond card, because he touched up the diamond card. Now he went from soup to nuts, from rough to finished, 2 scrapers, because he said, somebody said you have to use this to do that. He said, no, you don't. You know, they've been doing this for too long to say you got to use this cut, this sharpening, this whatever. No. I as a joke, I turned a piece with a spoon one day. So Ray Davis is here. Ray says he's got a bowl to show made out of small bits of wood. Ray, talk to us. Ray.
There we are. How about now? Can you hear?
Now, I got you now, Ray. I'm
Alrighty. All right.
There you are.
I got one with small holes in it. Small pieces of wood.
Ooh, pretty, gorgeous.
Oh, that's pretty.
How long did that take you?
Beautiful
I
piece.
worked on it about 3 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
It's
How
beautiful.
many pieces are in that?
Very nice.
1,392, but who's counting?
Oh my God. Dang.
I can't count that high.
That is
Gorgeous.
Good thing I didn't have to count them.
I don't have enough toes or fingers.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah,
What did
there's
you finish it with?
I don't think I can do it in 3 years.
Wow, look at the inside of that. That thing it's just, it grabs you.
Yeah, it's gorgeous work.
What
Wow.
finish you put on that?
Literally stunning.
Boy, if it's done in a turning world, it's done here. That is one beautiful piece. Look at that finish. Look at the detail on the base.
That's about 6 coats, light coats of rattle can lacquer.
Wow.
And I sand every 2 to 3 coats. I sand a little bit, and That's how it came out. It's got wenge, maple, yellow heart, red heart, and like I say, I could only do. It's got 48 pieces in each row, and it's 29 rows plus the blade base. So I do a couple rows a day, and I get bored and I have to go do something else. But
Oh my God.
That is really pretty.
Wow.
That is unbelievable.
Yep.
Beautiful work.
Made of.
thank you.
Thank you, Ray. Wow. The things we get to see here on
Very
Worldwide
nice.
Woodturners, man, that's some great stuff. Bill in Hudson,
Hey.
Quebec.
I was gonna say,
Good evening, gentlemen.
Go ahead, Billy Burt.
Joe Weber says he had something too,
Okay. Well, all right.
and so does Bill Louch.
All right, Bill, let's roll with you. Talk to us, sir.
All right, gentlemen,
Keep talking.
I'm still here waiting for you to hook up. There we are.
Yeah.
I've been making vases for some time, and a neighbor lady down the road here gave us some firewood, and so I thought, well, while I'm going through the firewood, maybe I can salvage a piece. So this is a bit of maple from her pile of firewood. And what is a vase without some flowers? So here's the flowers to go with it. For
Nice.
safety, Sue, this is all in turned, and I'll bet those branches that came down would make flowers like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Gorgeous.
One person's firewood is another person's turning.
Exactly.
There you go.
Or another
Right.
person's flower.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Bill. Boy, that's nice. Coming out of Canada. I don't know if we'll see Cade this evening. He's in Manchester, England for a demonstration. And it is 2:00 in the morning there. Who'd you say came up, Billy?
Hold on, I gotta find him again.
Joe Weber or
Joe
John Weber.
John Weber.
John, talk to us, buddy.
Got to unmute.
Hey, Eddie, hey, Eddie, in all those pictures from England, did you notice how big everybody's smiles are?
Oh man, they could break a mirror. I mean,
They're having a ton of fun over there.
Oh yeah, and they were being entertained by Cade. So that showed. I was jealous when I heard he was flying to England. I was jealous. All right, who's with us? John, what you got, sir?
I'm going to share my screen.
Go ahead. You're in control of it.
You seeing that?
No, sir.
What did I do wrong? I gotta
Click on the image that's on share screen.
There it is.
You
Yeah.
share screen and then you pick a window. There you go.
How about
There
that?
we go.
There it is.
Oh,
So this was a friend's. It was not a chair. It was like an antique chair, and I guess the other one busted off or something like that. And so this was the other one they popped off. So they just needed to have another one made. So they had said they had like a load of apple wood like 6 or 8 months ago, and they were coming over in the area. So they brought a bunch of apple wood, and I turned them a knob.
Nice.
Fair
Very
trade.
nice.
sounds like a fair trade.
Looks good.
That is a nice replica.
That's nice. That's a hard thing to do, to match it up like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
It is
Looks
not
good.
easy. You're right.
How did you get the groove in there?
With a just a gouge, a carving gouge.
Oh, okay, later. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the hardest part.
Yeah. It would be for me. I tell you.
Great.
Look,
Nice.
Really nice work, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Eddie Buck has a question for us.
Who's that?
Buck,
Buck, talk to us.
got to unmute, Buck.
Okay, here's the deal. I muted everybody individually a few minutes ago because we had some background sound coming through. So if you talk to us, you have to press your space bar, unmute yourself, and then we can hear you. Because I was talking back and forth to Billy Burt, and I had my speaker turned off. So,
Okay, how about now? Can you hear me?
I got you, bud.
Gotcha.
Okay, well, my question is, you probably went over it before, but the other day I was turning a piece and I got a really hard knot in the side and in the bottom, and beside the knot, of course, the wood's quite a bit softer. And I was having a heck of a time trying to get a smooth surface without having my turning tool either chatter, or even when I sanded it, you know, it would hit the hard spot and it want to dip down. What's the best way to handle that?
Okay, I'm open for suggestions. I have one, but somebody else want to jump in and give Buck their opinion?
Sharpen your tools better.
Say again, Charlie?
Sharpen the tool a little bit better.
Well, I understand about sharp tools, but trust me, it was sharp.
Okay.
Then soak it in CA glue.
Or a good sanding sealer might stiffen them up enough.
Buck, I'm going to go way. I'm so far off base. I'm out in left field. I would attack something like that with a shear scrape, with a gouge, roll over to do a shear scrape. You change what is controlling the cut, so you're not riding the bevel where you get a ride in the dip. You can come back and make a sweeping cut on it by doing a shear. And as difficult as it sounds, this pencil's going to get a workout tonight. I'd have my tool rest set up. My handle will be way down on me, and I'll make contact as a shear and pull it on down. Now, I will not roll over. I just pull it on down. But it's got to be, this edge of the flute has got to be cocked up for it to do this shear. If it digs in, it's not going to bounce over that bad part. It's going to just dig into it. But when you change the angle of attack, it will slide across it. Takes a little control. Now, and as Charlie said a minute ago, sharp tools, you cannot do this with tools that aren't sharp. So even if you got to touch them up just 1 second before with a diamond card, you got a really good, because there's like 1 or 2 passes, you'd be done. And that'll give you a good smooth cut. It's a good way to finish the outside of a bowl anyway, because the term shear scraping lends to what I was talking about earlier about the finished cut on the bowl with a scraper, shear scraping. They're all linked together. You're absolutely in control. There's no bevel driving it, and there's nothing else. You are absolutely in control. And Heather says, take lighter cuts. Great move, Heather. If you can do that. And Doug Biller says, so light, you might want to stand next door to do it. Bob Grinstead's got another piece of shows. Bob, talk to us. We'll get there, buddy.
All right. Hey, Eddie. Yep. I've got another piece that I finished this week. Can you find me yet?
I got you on. You're dead center.
All right. There we go. All right. Let me flip the camera around here. This is an open segment with splines.
Wow.
Vessel. It's about 12 inches by wide and about 12 inches tall. And anyway, it turned out pretty good.
That's a beautiful piece.
That's gorgeous.
Wow,
Too.
excellent.
That is
That turned out really nice.
The patience.
Yeah, it looks
Very
like an
nice.
open segment, but you really treat it more like rings, because it's when you put the segments in there, you really do have rings. So every one of these rings has 36 pieces. The top ones have 18 each one, but I'm not like the other guy. Mine's only 366. So it's not that many pieces.
Only 306.
Yeah. But it turned out pretty good. Anyway,
Very
the
nice,
bottom,
Bob.
just a solid bottom.
It's beautiful.
But I like the open segments. I like to do segmented stuff anyway, but I really like the open segment stuff. And but this one I thought was unusual to put the splines in there.
That
It
looks
really
like a good
was.
demo to me.
That is
Yeah,
crazy.
I can do a demo on that, but it's I have it taped, so I have to do a video on it, but I do have it.
My mind is going like, okay, how did he do that?
Yeah, I'll have to show you. I'll have to do a demo and show that. But the coating on this thing, the finish on this is that Krylon. Mark Sled was telling me about that, and I do like that better than I do lacquer. So anyway, it's a Krylon clear is what that one is.
Now, Bob, if we talk at demonstration here, and I'm going to be very fair with you because you're one of our members and we're supposed to do that. If I think I'm asking, just like Billy Burton, a few others going to ask, can you show us the assembly?
Yeah, that's it. That's
what I want to see. I want to see the assembly, the how-tos, et cetera, et cetera. How did you get before you turn it?
Yes, that's what I've got here is really a how-to more than it is a turning, because there's not a lot of turning in this. You know, you're not turning out a lot of wood. You're only knocking the corners off, inside and outside. So, but I do have that ready to go whenever I can get Dane to let me show that. So,
all right, we'll fit you in the schedule, sir. We will.
Okay.
Otherwise, got to say right now, that is gorgeous work.
All right, hey, I appreciate that.
Hey, Bob, how long is that video?
The video is only about 50 minutes. It's not that long.
Oh, okay.
You know, I've got it cut down pretty short, so it won't take that long.
I think those splines really add a lot to that.
Do what, Bob?
I think those splines in there really add a lot to that.
Yeah.
I do.
Yes.
I do. That's what I like. I always find pieces on Pinterest and try to figure out how in the world he did it, you know. So that's that wasn't hard to do. Of course, I got my angles off. If I'd have gone ahead and cut these angles like I should have, I treated it like an open segment, and you don't really worry too much about the angles. You just make it 70% or 60% or whatever less than your regular piece. But since I didn't get it exactly right, then I had to cut every one of these splines at the same angle. So that nearly killed me. I mean, that was a job to cut all those splines the same too. But it did it. It worked out great.
I think it's beautiful.
It is gorgeous.
Yes, it is.
Thanks.
What woods did you use?
I've got maple and bloodwood. I like the bloodwood better than I do Paduke. You know, Paduke's a different color, but I like this one. It does have a lot of splinter. It's kind of like Paduke. It might be even worse. This one's splinter is real. When I say splinter, you know, when you're coming back and you're sanding it down, and even when you're cutting, it throws off little bitty splinters. And since this bloodwood is real hard, they're almost like little needles. And I bet I dug 15 splinters out trying to get it finished.
Well, it worked.
I have to ask, it's a gorgeous piece. Do you get attached to these things? I found when I start making things really nice, I don't want to sell them. And after you get them stacked in the bathroom, you got to start saying, how do you handle that?
Well, I know that's me. I don't want to get rid of it because I don't want to do another one, you know. So anyway,
you see that wall beside him? Yes.
Yeah, so this is what I did. I made if I can get it here, I made some shelves. If that thing will focus again.
Yeah.
There you go. But I made some shelves, and there's 4 shelves, and it's about 7 feet long and 5.5 feet tall or something. But that's what I put all my stuff on. And my wife, I did have them all in the kitchen, and she kind of ran me out of there.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'll tell you, I got a whole room full of those shelves, and I'm still running out of space.
No,
they're one of a kind, and you don't want to get rid of them.
That's right. Yeah, that's it. I'm only going to make one of them. I really don't enjoy making a bunch of the same thing. I have, but I don't enjoy it that much. I'd rather just make the 1 or 2 pieces and You know, it's just like these spiral vases. I enjoyed that, but I don't want to make 50 of them. You know?
Yeah.
Well, and you can't charge enough to sell them.
No.
Saturday, we got people coming over. I had to clean off the whole daggone dining room table. I can't tell you how long that.
Yeah, I hear you. But,
So the wife made you clear out that portion of the shop?
Yeah.
No, it made me clear out the portion of the kitchen. I had all this, or a lot of it, in the kitchen, and then she wanted me out of there, so I made these shelves. And
I keep trying to convince my wife that kitchen table is just another workbench, and she's not agreeing.
No,
Denise, I'll send you my address so you can clear out some of that stuff that you don't want.
Yeah.
I knew someone.
You know you're successful. You know you're a successful wood turner. You are not a flat spaces in your home.
No, that's right. Yeah. You know, I can understand why people do little things because it takes up less room. You know, when you get these big pieces, it's it takes up a lot of room.
Yep, but it's very often like this piece. It's well worth it.
Oh yeah, it's worth it.
Thank you, Bob.
Doing it. Yep.
Beautiful.
I had a question about how you and Ray visualize these things. I don't mean artistically. Obviously, you're incredibly artistic. But I mean, before you do it, do you lay each layer out one at a time on paper and so that you know what it is? Or do you just, I mean, some of the things you aren't literally a pattern that would be trivial. I mean, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, you really get the form. You know, you're looking at the piece and you say, well, that's the form, the shape that I want. And then I take a graph piece of graph paper in 1/4-inch squares and lay it out. You know, draw it out and draw that form on here. And then I actually put it on a spreadsheet, but you don't have to. But let me share the screen here just a minute, and I'll
go ahead, sir.
See if I can find.
There are computer.
Well, I guess I'm going to have to open it up first.
There are computer programs you can purchase that will help you with that. They're specifically geared to segmented turning.
Really?
One of my club members who does a lot of segmented turning has the program, and he lays out the shape and the form he wants, and it tells him how big the rings need to be and how wide and so on, and gives them a printout that looks very much like your graph paper looks.
Wow.
So it's all laid out in a graph paper, and then he does the rings to spec.
Yeah, you can do that, but you don't have to. I mean, you don't have to buy any of that. I mean, it's very simple to do. The formulas are simple. Let me get this thing open and let's see if I can find that vase that I just did. Yeah, there was the formulas. There was the splined one. And let me do a share screen now. Here we go, right here. I have to click on it, double click it or something. There we go. All right, so this is the shape of the vase. You can't hardly see it here, but if you drew a line hitting these corners and you round it and you start hitting the corners again, coming back up, and then I swerve it back up toward the top here, but that's the actual vase that I did. So I drew it out on the 1/4-inch squares on a graph paper. And then on this Excel spreadsheet, I have this laid out in 1/4-inch squares. So this is 1 inch and he's got 4 squares in here. And this way was 3/4. The wood was 3/4 or a little more. It wasn't quite 1 inch. So I just did 3/4. But it's just a guesstimate that way. It's not real critical what you do that way. But the main reason I put it on here, and it doesn't have to be on Excel. I just do it because I can see it. But you want to know what size, what width of a segment, how wide this segment has to be, or how deep, I guess, if you want to call it that way, to be able to get this line that's swinging through here. So this one right here has to be 1 inch wide, this segment. This segment up here has to be 1.25 inches for everything to make that turn through there. And this other figure right here is the top portion of your little block that you're going to make. If you cut them on 18 segments, then it's 10 degrees per segment. You take the 360 degrees and divide it by 18 and divide it by 2 again, and then you get 10 degrees. But anyway, and this top, this
more about this makes a lot of sense, but I'm thinking about each layer. I mean, you don't have the same color wood in each spot. I mean, you're changing the pattern, and each layer the pattern has to change to turn out right. I'm wondering, do you literally draw each layer from a top view down so that you know where you're going to put?
Yes, if you made it like the previous guy showed us tonight, it showed looked like X's or V's or whatever, a pattern in here. That's what you do. You actually lay that out on a flat piece of paper, and you say, well, if it's 18 segments, or in his case, I think it was, 48 or something. Well, he's got a piece of paper that's 48 segments wide, or he could have, because he's going to repeat that same pattern, so it doesn't have to be the true 48. It could be a portion of that. If it divide that by 6, then he's only got to have these 6 segments, and it's going to repeat every so often. Okay, and he's got that all drawn out on a piece of paper, on a piece of graph paper. Yes. In my case, mine's all maple. Everything from this one all the way down to the bottom down here is maple. The spines are a different color, but that's a different animal. These top 2 rings are bloodwood, and they're all 18 segment rings. These other rings end up being 36 because I actually have a spline plus this open segment portion. But I was talking before about the formulas. You don't, let me go to the formula here. If I get this thing to flip. Here we go. Here's the formulas that I have, and there's nothing special about the formula either. You find the radius, and mine's in radius. You don't have to. You could do it in the diameter, right? But I take that radius. Let's say E4. I'm looking at here, and it's a 1 inch radius. So I'm looking at a 1 inch, a 2 inch circle. A 2 inch diameter circle. That's a real little thing. Okay. But if you get down to these others, and let's say we go down to like a 4 inch, that would be more realistic here. Like the top of mine is probably a 4 or 5 inch circle. So let's go back to here. That would be a 4 inch circle, a radius of 2 inches. Okay. If I take 18 segments, you don't have to have all the graph that I have. You don't need these other segments in here that I'm showing. We're only worried about one set. So in this case, it's a radius of 2 inches, and there's 18 segments per ring. Okay, so we're only looking at those 2. And if you go look at the formula is really the radius times 2 to get the diameter times 3.14. So you get the circumference all the way around that ring. And then you divide that by 18 because you know it's going to be 18 little pieces in that ring. And then I have a fudge factor here because I know that if you lay it out and you literally look at the flat portion, you're not getting the full width of it. Because of the flat in the middle. The middle of it is you're going to cut off the top edges and you're trying to make this thing round. So I put a fudge factor in here, and that's what that is. Anyway, the formula is pretty simple. As far as the angle, here's the formula for the angle down here. So it's a 360 degrees divided by the number of segments divided by 2. and that's the cut angle that you're going to have on each side of your little block. You know, if your block is 1 inch wide, you know, that's this line right here was the top of the block. That's how wide that top's going to be. And then you're going to have an angle of, in my case, it was 18. So it is 10 degrees. The cut angle is going to be 10 degrees on each side.
You have an open segment. Do you deduct from that?
I do have an open segment deal of formulas, and all I'm doing here is taking 70% of that other figure I had. So in my open segments, which I have in here, this is an open segment, the maple part is. And let's say I went to this 4 inch radius, again, 4 inches in diameter. And if the ring was 4 inches in diameter, then I take the open segment and I do the same formula up here, but I multiply it times 0.7 because I want 70% of that. If you can go down to 60%, but every time you do, where they overlap gets smaller and smaller. In 70 or 75 or even 65, I've made several with 65. And
you cut them on a wedgie sled?
No, I actually cut them on. I do have a deal like a wedgie sled that I can cut them on, but that's normally not what I use. I have a miter set that I set my miter gauge to, and a little platform that goes on my miter gauge. Same thing. It's just that I use that. I just like the miter set because I can get real accurate with it. I don't have to sit here and jack with it and try to get the circles just right. Usually it turns out every time pretty darn close. So just like these, the top rings that I cut here, these the two top red ones, they were 18 segments each at 10 degrees. And when I used the miter set the miter gauge on the table saw and cut them all, well, I didn't have to sand anything. I mean, this thing was so perfect, I didn't sand nothing, and went ahead and glued it up. Anyway, I just like the miter set because I do different angles all the time. Mostly they're 12s or 18s. Once in a while, I'll do a 24 or something. If you do the more segments per ring, of course, it's like the other guy that's earlier, his had a lot of segments, and those little pieces get awful small. I just don't like dealing with all the little small pieces, but you can do it. And a lot of people make them smaller than what he had. They can get some really little pieces. Anyway, that's my two formula sets. I have the straight one, and the other one is 70%. And the angle of the, when you go on the open segments, I did the segment length. The top of the length of it is 70% of a normal 18 segment ring. And the same thing about the cut. The angle of the cut is 70% of 10 in an 18. Like right here, a normal cut for 18 would be 10. If I made this a 70% cut, then it's it's only 7 degrees instead of 10. And when I come back here with this one, if I do a 66%, then it's 6.6 degrees. With a miter set, you can get it down to a half a degree. So I really like that. That's a pretty neat little device to have. Anyway,
that's just incredible.
But anyway, it's easy to do, and I really like the open segments better because it's easier. You're not worried about it's not critical about this angle. The angle is going to be close to 10 degrees, right? And on this one, it was 7. Well, when I cut the maple out, it should have been exactly 7 degrees, and I didn't check it, and it was a little off. And that made my splines, if it had been exactly right, the splines could have been squared. They could have been parallel pieces of wood. But since it was a little bit off, I had to go through and cut every one of those splines at 3 degrees or 2.5 degrees on each side. It wasn't what it should have been. It could have been easier to make than what I did. But
Well, it came out beautiful. I tell you, that's a gorgeous piece.
yeah, well, thanks. But there's my graph. You know, I just print this graph out, and it's 4x3, or I could have made it a 4x4. 4 squares and 4 squares. But this is the thing that I take, and I draw my vase out in here first. The outside and the inside. 1/4 inch or 3/8 or however thick I think I'm going to make it, and then I take that and manually. And draw it out on a piece of paper. I'm having this printed out, and I'm drawing it out. And then I take that and go back to this and kind of draw it in here. And here I don't draw it in. I just know that, it's got to fit. This square has got to fit between this point, 4 inches and 2 1/4 inches in order to make this slope going up through here. That makes sense. Do y'all understand that?
I got it. It hurts my head, but I got it.
Okay. In the video, I actually have. I guess I want to stop this. Do you want to continue? Stop sharing the screen. Okay. Okay, there you go. In the video that I have, I actually have. I think I showed it where I had it drawn out in there, but it's not hard. None of that's really hard. Even gluing up the rings aren't hard. I think everybody ought to try it. And but the open segments, you don't have to worry about the angles because you're putting on each segment separately so they don't touch, so they don't have to be exactly perfect.
Definitely looking forward to seeing your video.
Okay, good deal.
Thank you, Bob. Boy, that's some really.
Thank you.
We do get some lovely work in here, and Bob Conza raises that bar occasionally, which is really good. Now, Bob was just talking about laying this out on a computer or your spreadsheet or whatever, and that is an amazing process to go through. And once you've done it, once you set it up, you'll understand it, and then you work with it just like that. I'm old school on some stuff. This is a segment planner. Now, myself and a guy named Charlie Craigle drew this up about 20 years ago, and it's got 9 different patterns on it. And it goes from a 2-inch diameter all the way out to a 10-inch diameter, just for this. But the angles won't change. And it's a planning guide. That's all it's for. So if you want to lay pieces out and see how the rings work out and all that, use it. All right. I used to sell this. Used to sell it. I have got 6 on a shelf in the office. And the rules in rehab are I can no longer sell anything. That's part of my rules in rehab, and I'm living with it. But I tell you what, the first 6 people to send me an email at worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com, worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com. First 6 people to send me an email and says, I'd like one of those, I will mail it to you, and it is free. It's legal. I didn't sell it. Remember, that's the rules. So if you want one, I'll give it to you. And that's because, if you had one, you'd probably give it to me. All right.
Karl Geary has something.
Who's that?
Karl Geary.
Carl, are you talking to us, Carl?
Yeah, I'm talking to you. You got me?
I don't see you yet. Keep talking, buddy.
Okay, here I am.
Oh, wait a minute. I see the problem. Hold on.
I got him.
All right, there he is.
Okay. Those of us that have cast iron tool rests, you constantly have to file down for any nicks or whatever you get in there. I found D-Way Tools has a rod that you can attach to any of the cast iron using the JB Weld 24-hour. And this is M42 steel, so it's not apt to get any nicks in it at all with your tools. And
Nice.
It's a good idea. Looks like
That
Billy
is
got
a good
some
idea.
beard too.
Is that what they suggested to attach it with, was JB Weld?
yeah, he has a video on how to do it and how to lay it out to use the JB Weld. Just make sure it's the 24-hour, not the quick set.
Yeah, good.
And Steelway Tools.
Yes.
Dave sold that firm. The new operator is really sharp guy. I don't expect anything but good from those folks. They've been really good to me over the years. Thank you, Carl. Appreciate the input tonight. All right. JB Tools. When I was looking to replace my 3/8" bowl gouge for an Ellsworth deep fluted bowl gouge, I went and booth to booth to booth looking at shows, and they all thought I was crazy because I had a loop, and I was looking at the inside of the gouge. And the guy said, "What difference does that make?" Well, the outside can be as smooth as a baby's butt, but the inside is not smooth. It's got teeth. No matter how you sharpen it, it's got teeth. I found it from D-Way. He the first one I found that was polished out, clean, smooth, and I've been with Dave ever since. All right, I'm confused about what I'm looking at the chat. That's what I'm doing. We got some co-hosts working with us tonight. If you have something to show tonight, just let us know and we'll get you on there. Looking for tips or hints from the shop, looking for ideas, questions. I mean, we had some good questions coming tonight. How do you eliminate the dimple and nipple? So, with you're right, Andy. I'm getting your image. Are you up?
Me, no.
Okay.
I haven't done anything this year. Busy, busy.
All right. Alrighty.
Trace has something.
Who's that?
Trace.
Oh, talk to us, Trace.
You're muted.
Am I still muted?
No, you're all right.
Gotcha now.
Birdhouse Bob showed us that putting the flutes on, so I jumped on it and did one.
Wait, you did this since Birdhouse Bob showed it tonight?
Sure.
Go, Trey.
Birdhouse challenge.
Uh-oh.
Good deal, Trey. Good deal.
Cutting another one right there.
This is Linsow-White.
Get the man, Trey.
So I'd like to, a little different in design. So yeah, I like it, Bob.
I like it too. I might steal that design.
I have another one being cut, as I showed you right now. It's being cut right now. So that's all.
Beautiful work. All right, thank you, Trey.
Yeah, that's on that Rose Lathe, right?
Yes, it is.
I think we need to start a birdhouse club.
Yeah, I do too.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. We'll just make Bob the president. That'll work.
I'll be the chief bird.
Careful, he might want to
Big
raise.
buzzard.
All right. And what he's turning on, for those who don't recognize it, that is a Lindow, Lindow-White, Linsow-White Rose Engine Lathe. I assembled a lot of equipment and tools in my life. That is a diamond. That is a diamond, I tell you. He does some remarkable manufacturing to get it turned out, and they work so good. A friend of mine, Dale Campo, went really hog nuts on it, and Ronnie Bunnett and I visited him one day, and Dale said, "I'm going to turn this. I'm going to change the depth by 40 thousandths of an inch in order to put this stuff." And Ronnie looked at me and says, 40 thousandths of an inch? And he didn't say anything after that because it really changed the design.
Is that less than a quarter inch?
Pardon? Yeah, that's about this much closer.
That's midget.
Actually, a lot of times I only advance it about 10 thousandths per revolution. So
Yeah.
They're fun machines. I built not a Linsow-White. I built my own version of it from what Gorse Duplessis developed years ago, and I loved it. And hopefully one day we'll salvage it from the shop. All the equipment made it, and just have to be able to spend enough time out there to clean it up because it. See, Trace is on the line with us showing his pieces, and his machine is working over there. And it's doing what he is told it to do, and he's adjusting it. The X and Y he adjusts to move where the cutter goes, because the cutter spins, the wood is rotating slowly to put the marks or the grooves in it. And you can turn the cutter up on an angle and slice on an angle. The patterns are whatever you can dream up on 360 degrees. That's a pattern, and it works out great. I've cut them out of plexiglass and Lexan and all kinds of things, depending on what somebody wanted for a shape of an oval or whatever. Roger said, I have something to show for segment at work. Roger, what do you have? Roger, what do you have? I don't, there he is.
Okay.
Now you're online.
Okay, did that come
Boom.
up?
There you are.
go.
Okay, here's how I learned to do segmented work. You've got the picture that you can draw out here. I had a 1/4 of an inch on the inside, 1/4 inch on the outside. And then you make a degree or this is an 8 segmented or 8 segs per row. And each of these is an individual row of the vase. And you take your compass, you measure in from here to from the center line to the inside and make your inside mark. And then you do it on the outside. And then you know exactly how long your pieces need to be. It does all the math for you. You just measure off of it.
Now, I've seen this before. This is a commercial version, isn't it?
Neat. No, this is hand-drawn stuff.
No, but I mean the program, you're doing this, and
it's a program that we use for college.
Ah, okay.
They've, it's got.
But I think this is his. I don't think this drew all this up, right?
Well, I can draw it out. That's not a problem.
Yeah,
I
that's
draw
what
all
I'm
mine
saying. I
out.
think. Oh, okay. Well, maybe this was already canned. I don't know. Anyway, representation.
Yeah.
So.
Very nice.
I just thought I would add that. They were talking about segmenting, and for me, it's not a problem. You don't need any program at all.
I think we all born with the program. You just got to learn how to use it.
Yeah, that's it. It's just coming up with the figures yourself and knowing what the formulas are, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. You don't have to buy a program. I don't think you do. There's a lot of them out there.
I'm
not cool on paying somebody for what's in my head.
Me
That's
either.
The other way, you can blame it on the computer, though.
Yeah.
There you go.
Be careful. We might have a computer geek out there. I want to make them mad.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Roger. This is a great program. Really nice. Really nice. All right. Roger shared it with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Roger.
Thank you very much.
All right. I see on Oh, I haven't mentioned it tonight. A little befuddled here. We have an event calendar on our website. Now, I'm going to brag a little bit for you. Worldwide Woodturners has got what is probably the finest website dealing with wood turning in the world. We have a very dedicated website director, Dave Rose, who almost instantly takes the program you're looking at right now, compresses it, puts it on our website. He puts the chat on our website. He puts photographs of your work on our website. He puts tips and hints and programs on our website. If he had those spreadsheets about the turnings, the segments, he'd put that on a website. If you have photographs of what you just did, that on a website. You see, we're not limited because of sponsors.
And he's underpaid.
We doubled his wage just last week. Okay.
Okay.
Still underpaid.
He puts all this on a website, and it's there for you all the time. And you get everybody can go to the website and get this. There's no restrictions, no limitations, no membership key, no secret codes, none of that. It's there for you. So why don't you put something there for us? So you develop something, have something, take a photograph of something, make a jig, make a rig, whatever. You solve the problem. You know where to buy this. You can't buy that on our website. That's where we put it at. And also on our website, we have an events calendar. That's where I started at. If you have an event dealing with wood turning, and it doesn't matter if it's a pay-per-view, a freebie, a club event, in your backyard, whatever, you have an event, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat right there. That little thing over there. Put it in the chat. Say, okay, I have a demo coming up this Friday, and it's going to be such and such and such. More details, go to this website. Boom. And we will add it to our website. That's a free feature of worldwidewooodturners.org. That's what we do. So if you want to be there, type it out, put it in there. Dave will get it and transfer it. And yes, he is terribly underpaid because without Dave, we wouldn't even have a website. Dave stepped up right away and said, I can do this. And boy, did he can do it. All right. Now, another thing, we don't have a membership list. I think we gave that job to Brenda and she just dropped it. It was just terrible. But and we don't have a membership list. And it's not due to Brenda. It's because we don't want to have that type of control. This is a free and open club to everybody in the world with no restrictions, no pay, no limitations, nothing. If you would like to know who else is in this club that wishes to share their information, they have went to the chat and typed in, hi, this is Sue. I live in Largo Bay, Florida, and I have a website and I have a Facebook page. And if you want to get a hold of me, here's my email address or my phone number or my cat's favorite name or whatever. Whatever you would like listed on our contact list in the chat, put it in there. Dave puts that chat on our website, but before he does, he goes in and edits that information out. So it doesn't stay as part of our permanent online feature. And then Dave makes a contact list. And if you want a list of that, it's on a contact of our website. There's a little square you check for members list, and then you fill out that form exactly. I got this from Dave. Go to the contact page, find the button on the page that says mail list request for the first line of the page. Click on mail list request. A special form appears. Fill out the form with your name and email. The subject is Captain, capital C-A-P-T-A-I-N, capital C-A-P-T-I-N. To enter the message exactly, please, comma, talk to the webmaster. And then underneath that, there's a little check block. Uncheck the block. It's checked now. Uncheck it. And then send it. and almost immediately you will receive an email at the address you provide. Now, I'm going to mention this because if you get that far out of the line of what we just told you, and it's in the chat tonight, that far out of the line, you won't get it. It won't convert. Dave has worked hard to make this thing bot proof, so we can't get searched and everybody's name and address goes out to everybody else. So we're going bot proof, and so far it's worked. I have it on my phone, my iPad, my computer, that computer over there. I mean, you call me, I can let you know what we have where, if I have any of the machines with me, but you can have it yourself. Just give us the information to start with. All right, we're here at worldwidewoodturners.org. We got a little bit of time left. We are looking for, wait. We're looking for gallery and other items. Bob Grinstead said, here's the free one, the www.blocklayer.com wood turning segment ASPX. So there you go. There's a free program in our email tonight, in our chat tonight. Billy Burst is gonna, pardon me, Billy. I have an app on my phone called Segment Planner. It was $5, written by a turner friend of mine named Ron Sardo. Ron's a good turner. And you can do that with graph paper. And we've got a couple others on the chat. Save the chat before you go tonight. Save the chat. Oh, I just saw something.
Yeah, Ron Vincent has something too.
I saw the note, I couldn't find it. Ron, talk to us again, sir.
All right, I'm here.
All right,
You got
Ron,
me now?
hold on. I think we can. Oh, there we are.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking, I got, holidays coming up. So I made some little fruit jar and I made lids for them. And they're really pretty simple. The lid is glued. You don't need the metal part, so you can actually sign it in the center if you want. But they're glued together and then they just screw on. They're nice for ladies. I put Q-tips and cotton balls in them and give them a gift.
Yeah, if you showed us at a trade show, make sure you have the whatnot to go into the whatnot holder. Be it colored marbles. Remember, we're old. We all remember what marbles were. Be marbles, twisty sticks, whatever. Put something in it that'll catch an eye. Because one of our members did a trade show and he sent me a photograph of what he had at the trade show, and he had a whole section of those. And he did plain flat tops. He put beads on them. Burned lines on the edges. You can't overdo it. It gets gaudy, but you can have different versions of the same project. That's beautiful stuff.
Yeah, just something real quick. Made 8 of them in less than a day. So.
Yep. And you can buy those jars at the hardware store, at the grocery store.
Yeah, I found them at Tractor Supply. I found some other ones that were for jam, same amount of volume, but they were tall and skinny.
Yep. All right. Thank you, Ron. Appreciate you showing us that.
All right.
And those are projects, if you are working on a mini lathe or a small lathe or a whatever, those are projects you can turn. If you think I don't have a chuck, you can turn that without a chuck. Don't be fooled. A faceplate and double stick tape works wonders. I mean, I use this product. See that? Sure, SHURTAPE. You used to be able to buy it at Lowe's. And then they went high to a big box store thing and eliminated this vendor. But Sure Tape, if you put it on something, say you have a block you want to double stick this to, make sure you put a groove in that block, the size of your scratch-all or whatever. Make sure you put that groove in. Why? This holds so good that you can't pry it off the glue block, off the faceplate. You can't pry it off. It's awesome stuff. And you can buy Sure Tape on Amazon or directly from Sure Tape, SHURTAPE. I've tried other double stick carpet tape products. even the ones that he made for wood turning, no, well, can't even get on the racetrack. This stuff's way out front. It really is. I like it. And I used to do a lot of medallions for the kids, grandkids, great grandkids, and I could spin them out like the top that we just saw somebody do on the show, on the program tonight. I spin that top out, and then I'd crown off the top, slice it, and then I'd have a glue block that matched that crown off or was close to it, slap it up there, and then I could cut the bottom of it, lighten it up, put some detail on it, and you've done both of them without a chuck. You did one as a spindle turning and the other on a glue block, on a faceplate. Easy peasy. Easy piece of work. Oh, Tim Hatch said he just got some from Lowe's last week, the paint adhesive area. Tim, you really did find it at Lowe's?
Yeah, I found it, Eddie. It was over in the paint and adhesive area, not with the regular tape. It was closer to where the paintbrushes and stuff was. But yeah, I found it, and that was based off the video of you turning those little bobbles you just talked about.
Yeah. You see, I went and talked to one of the buyers there, and he says, "Oh, we lost the deal with that distributor." So they may be, big box stores lock on with distributors, and they might have locked back on with the distributor that has it. It's a handy product, and it was at Lowe's. Scott Hampton says M&Ms. Scott, you have to explain that one. I don't know what that means.
For display in those jars.
Oh, now I got you. Yeah. See, I was going marbles, but you put candies in there, and you at one of those craft fairs, and the kids will want that candy. Mom, can we get one of those? Can we get the candies? Don't sell your candies when you sell the jars. Unless you want to really step up on a number, But I had a friend of mine do a segment of pieces like we saw earlier, and he would fill them with the little strawlet mints, red and white strawlet mints. He'd fill the whole jar because it had a good light transfer when he'd put a LED in the middle of them, and light would transfer through. Nifty idea, and all you need to remember, if you get them to stop and blink, you got them. Bob Grinstead says good double-sided tape for turning. He has the 3M version, but have trouble getting the top layer off. It sticks really well. Same thing with this. Same thing with the sure tape. I have to cut her on a slice angle. The hardest thing is to get the blue backing tape off of it to get it double-sided. That's the hardest thing. It's that good. It's that good. I like it, and I can use it over and over and over again because you can't kill it. Let's see what else we got in chat. If you like to talk about something, you want to show something in gallery tonight, pop in, throw it in and say, I have something to show, and we'll go right to you. We see a lot of the older, more seasoned members joining us tonight. Yeah, my birthday's tomorrow. I got to say older.
Neil Mack has something.
I'm sorry, say Doug?
Neil Mack has something to share with us.
Neil Mack, talk, buddy.
Hey, how is everyone? Pick
All
me
right,
up?
Neil.
Hey, great, Neil. Go ahead.
Good, Neil. How about you?
Guys. Earlier, you guys spoke about your wives get annoyed when your projects end up on the kitchen table. Well, mine end up on the dining room table.
So you've been thrown out of the kitchen already.
That's it. So I belong to a wood club, and each year we sponsor the soup kitchen that holds an auction to raise funds to keep the kitchen going. So any kind of wood project that you make, you can donate to the cause. And this is just some of the projects I've made. This one's for Birdhouse Bob.
Bob, you like that one?
I like that one, yeah.
Yeah, but it has a trick to it.
That's got its own tree with it.
Hang on a sec. It can also hang from a tree.
Okay.
Multifunctional.
Double duty. Yeah, multifunctional. Double duty.
And I have some others.
Uh-oh, we're going to end up being a birdhouse club. I see it coming.
You're giving me some
And I have
competition
some
here.
flowers that I turned.
Oh, very nice.
Man.
Oh, those are really pretty.
Thank you. And some bowls.
Neil, you do some nice work, bud.
Thank you. And then for Easter, I have eggplants.
I like it.
And some 2x4 vases. Some bowls. I think early on I showed you this one, my stool sample.
I don't remember it, but that's pretty
Oh,
clever.
okay.
I do. I remember it. That's cute.
Is that a stool sample?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember it too. That is funny.
It is.
And we had a tree removed from the front of our house. I turned some bowls from it.
Very nice.
Live oak.
Now, Neil, we were
Yes.
talking about dimples and nipples a little while ago. If you pick up that piece right in front of us right now, that square one.
Bowl? This one?
Yeah, a bowl. Yeah. And flash it so you can see the inside. Look how smooth that is, folks. Look at it. There's not a dimple or a nipple. And he's shown us about 5 or 6 bowls so far, and all of them are the same way. Look at it. Clear, clean lines. No flat spots for the light to catch. Because if the light catches a flat spot, it's going to take away from your piece. Look at it. That is some beautiful work.
Thank you. And that's what I have to show.
All right. Sorry you got kicked out of the kitchen. That's a bummer.
Very nice, Neil.
Very nice.
Thank you.
All right. We're taking a look at things tonight on gallery. You're invited. It's your club. You want to step in, it's okay.
Hey, Eddie, this is that shear tape, the way it looks. I don't know if everybody can see that or not. That's the way it's packaged at Lowe's. Comes in 36-foot roll.
That'll last you half a lifetime.
Yeah. Yeah.
$7.18 a roll, and he put the number 156864 so you can look for it. And if nothing else, you can do a screenshot of this and take it to the guy and say, look, and we'll get it. That's nice. Boy, we covered a lot of ground tonight, even without a demonstration. And I apologize for that, but the way we work this, it's up to the members to provide the demonstrations. And if you're interested in doing one, oh yeah, I mean, I'm not knocking Matt did a really nice thing on showing us just what we were talking about, a dimple or a nipple. And he showed it to the past and the way to make that slicing cut. And just like we talked to that one gentleman about the bumps on the outside of the piece, doing a shear scraping cut. Remember, it's all technique. That's what we want to share with you, technique. I don't want to show you something and say, go out and turn this tonight. See the shape? I don't want you to copy this. Go turn something. Don't copy it because it's all in here, and that's where it's supposed to come from.
Joaquin's in the house.
Say again?
Joaquin just came in.
Joaquin, that's trouble. There is Joaquin. We heard about you tonight earlier.
What in the world did you hear?
We're not supposed to repeat those kinds of things.
Okay, I understand that.
Well, what you got for turning this week?
Well, man, a friend gave me some of that, some resin design, just blanks, diameter blanks. I thought, well, I'll make a box out of it, So I thought, well, okay, that's easier than what I thought it was, except for one thing. Because
it had a hole in it. Oh man,
a funnel.
Funnel. I mean, I was sitting there and I said, I wasn't paying no attention to the dimension,
You have to make a pedestal for it.
There it was. I thought I was going to have an 1/8 inch, but it didn't. And so that's a good reminder. But you think you'd learn, right?
Blame it on the guy you got the resin from. He didn't finish the. He didn't finish
They
it.
put a bottom in it, right?
You never have to worry about that box getting too full.
So I thought, well, heck, I'll make a threaded box out of mesquite. And it turned out pretty nice. Put a little design on it, some gold filling. Well, you got the same thing.
Oh no!
It holds dollar bills.
Just to make that final cut on the end, to get down there. And I said, oh well. And so I got them out here as reminders. I got calipers, I got measuring tapes, everything in the world to make this right. But that's 2 reminders. So then I'm
Joaquin, you
That's
never have to worry
affects-
about that box
Joaquin,
being
that's
too
affects
full to
for
get
that.
the lid on.
Hold on.
You could mount both of them sideways and make some good birdhouses.
You got a good point. I thought about putting a bottom on this, but I'm not. I'm going to leave it like that just for conversation piece.
That's why you put the M&Ms in. They'll be gone in one day.
Famous last words. One last cut.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
You got a lidded funnel there.
Yeah, that's about all I got done. I'm trying to get some other stuff ready. And, Martin, he challenged that maple leaf I did. Well, he challenged me that it needs to have ripples and stuff in it, like it's a dead leaf. And so I'm working on one right now on that. Maybe I'll have it done by next Wednesday.
It needs a birdhouse on that leaf.
Yeah.
We'll be looking.
I said, I did some leather out in the shop, did some wig stands. Terry show his wig stand yet?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But Terry says he's got something else to show. Let me see if Terry, talk to me. Terry.
Okay, you got me?
I'm trying to find you.
I'm talking. To bring me up
Okay.
yet? You still can't hear me? Should be
No,
able to hear me.
I hear you.
There you
Yeah.
are. Oh, I was just thinking we did all the talking and about the little dimples and the problems of turning the bottoms. And I'm pretty much with Matt with a 1/2 inch bowl gouge with a Ellsworth grind on it that I got 4 of them and they're my go-to for almost everything. And getting to the bottom, but sometimes you wind up in little problems and everything. The dimples and knots, like one of the people were saying he had trouble going across the knots. When everything goes wrong, I go to this. It's a 7/8 bottom feeder. It's a deep fluted bowl gouge with about a 65-degree bevel on it and a little bit of a swept back on it. And it's a little over 2 feet long from the handle back. And it looks like a club. And every time I pull it out, everybody looks at me, what is that thing? And for a bottom feeder, you can take this thing and come out. Once you get to the bottom, if there's something going wrong and you can't get a curve, you can shave with this thing. You can lay it on the bevel, just caress the bevel and come across and look like hair coming off of there until you get it all nice and flat. And if there's a knot or something bouncing, you can go so easy with it that you can slice right through it. And if you ever get a chance to come across one of these, I bought it when I had no idea what I was doing and everybody laughed at me. And I've loved it ever since. And then I had it at the house using it one day, and a good turner friend of mine from Memphis told me, he says, yeah, I got one just like that. He says, when everything goes wrong, I get it out. And it's really a handy tool. It really is. You talk about your bottom feeders, but it's just designed for that. They don't have a lot of other things like I say, you can get it around on the bevel and really do a nice job with it.
I mentioned that, a bottom feeder will make that cut, and a lot of novice turners don't understand because that's not a highly promoted product. It is rare. You're lucky to have one. I know a guy over in Corpus Christi that could probably use that, because that helps you control the depth, doesn't it?
Yes, it helps you control the depth, and you can, like I say, you can come in and get rid of some material.
You missed his point. I got it.
You finally got that, huh, Joaquin?
Well, and that little
It had to soak in.
It's pretty much bigger than his little box.
Well, I just have to stick it straight in there. Well, I didn't get around to try Martin's deal about puncturing the wood, not puncturing, but pressure the wood and do that sanding and getting it to steam up. Did anybody try any of that?
There's a tip that Martin Clarkson shared with us last week.
Yeah, I tried that last week, Joaquin, on a piece of oak. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's obviously
Hold on. Talk again. Say it again.
All right. So on this piece of oak that I started turning, obviously I flattened the bottom, and then I smacked it with a piece of chain a couple times, and I smacked it with a couple other things. You can see the divot right here.
Yeah.
And that was the deepest knot with the chain. I've got a bunch of other little small divots around this edge. And on this side, you can see just a little bit right there, but it didn't really raise up a whole lot with the steam kettle like I was expecting with the oak.
I wonder what'll be the best wood here. He said, what was it?
He was saying sycamore.
Yeah.
I've got a piece of soft maple out there. I was going to try some of that, but of course, then I had my little episode and had to go to the hospital. But that would be my next thing. Would be something like pecan, or maybe because I've got a lot of that laying around here, and maybe a piece of maple or two.
I think Martin was saying,
I was just wondering if anybody else had given that a shot last week after Martin had given us that demo.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to try it on some mesquite, and I've got some ash. I don't know whether it'll do any good on ash, but I'm going to try that.
I think
ash is
pretty hard.
It's going to be too hard or not, because
it'll be too hard.
Yeah,
I think ash would be too hard to be too open grain for that.
I got some wet box elder I'm going to try it on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if somebody comes up with something that works, let me know for sure, because that was definitely a cool technique.
Well, one of the things that he said, because I asked him about hole punches and screwdrivers and stuff, and he said you don't want something sharp, you want something blunt, because you're bending the wood, not breaking the fibers. So I think that I'm probably going to have to make something. Find some hardwood in the shop here and make a little.
Well, what
I used a piece of 3/8 inch chain that my brother used to use for beating up and distressing cabinets. So I tried that, and I also tried one of your drop paint balls.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that, that gave me my dimples and stuff in the wood, but once I took and turned it off a little bit and then tried to steam it up again, I didn't get the effect I was looking for.
See, I got some leather tools. I got a leather tool that has it's called a pear tool. And I think that will give me a pretty good dent and work.
Okay. I was also thinking maybe a small ball peen hammer.
Yeah.
I got something, guys, that you can probably use to make your dimples. You want to see it?
Yeah.
I want to see it. All right. Talk to me again.
Eddie, it's Scott.
Okay, Scott. Keep talking, Scott, because you got to come up on the screen.
Got me?
Got him.
Eddie, here we go.
Okay.
Can you guys see these?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes I make some jewelry, steel jewelry.
Yeah.
These are diving tools. So they're round spheres on a hardened tool steel. And they come in many different sizes. Pretty small, some of them. Get it up where the camera can see it. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
this is good. This is what I'm gonna try to do what Martin showed last week.
I think that'll work, John.
I do too.
Mhm.
We'll look forward to seeing what you do.
Yeah, be nice. And for those members who missed that demonstration last week, Dave Rose, is it on our website right now? Master Woodmaster.
It is. I actually separated it out, so you should be able to see just that little segment if you want.
Yeah, and that from the UK. I don't think Martin's had a pretty busy day with Cade Bolger being over there this week, and I don't think we're going to hear him from MRK. Cade did a demonstration for that group in Manchester this week. Lucky them. We're going to get.
Jim Duxbury says he's got something, Eddie.
Who's that?
Jim Duxbury.
Jim, I'm looking for you, bud. Talk to us.
So you got it. You got it. I just have to say, Neil and I have a lot in common. Both our dining room tables are full. And I also make a lot of stools, and I make stool samples too. These go over really well.
Yeah, I bet.
We talked a lot about tonight about segmenting. And I thought I'd show this. No, let me see if it'll come up here.
All right, you're in the screen share mode. You have to pick something that you see. Aha!
There you go.
This is my version of a wedgie sled. It has hold down clamps. So when you start getting small, this is kind of a neat sled. I started using this thing. I don't do much segmenting, but every now and then I make a ring for the top of something, and I can make a 12 segment ring, and I don't even look at it. I put glue on it and a rubber band around it. And this is to cut the one side. This is to cut the other side. And then the trick in it to using this thing, oh, that's parts and pieces just showing. I showed this somewhere else, but the trick is I put this in a machining vise standing on end. This is a 90-degree line across the middle of it. This is a parallel line. I set this bottom segment cutter or fence at 0 to set it parallel to this, so that it's exactly 90 degrees between 90 degrees off this saw cut. And then I put my wedgie gauge on here and 0 it. And then I set the bottom one here, I'm doing 30 degrees. So I set the bottom one to 15 degrees. And then I 0 this. You 0 it on here now. And you put it on the top one and you set that to 30 degrees. And that is dead on. Underneath here, underneath this, I put 2 metal screws or 2 wood screws in here so that it's got the magnets on the bottom of this hold. That is dead on. It just, you can make 40 pieces and they're just dead on.
Really, yeah, I like that you left that piece on outside your blade where they're not falling off out there off the edge of that board.
That's another thing. Most of the wedgie sleds, they cut the sled right off.
Yeah.
And your piece falls off.
Mm-hmm.
When you've got a piece in here, like this piece, you take a pencil and you put the eraser right here and you push that through the blade and just hold it flat on there and bring it back. Nothing moves. With the other one, when you cut this off, as that piece falls off, it tears a little sliver off of here. This one tears nothing off. It's absolutely dead on, perfect cut.
I got you.
It's dead on. I don't do much of this.
When you drag the sled back, you bring the piece back away from the blade. That's a nice feature.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it works perfect. I wouldn't ever make 3,000 pieces and glue them together. It's never going to happen. But sometimes they do make 12. Anyway, my 2 cents.
Thank you, Jim.
Sure.
Beautiful. And if you have missed it in the past and you can't miss it in the future, Jim kind of led the road when we did that tips and tricks a couple of months ago. Because
Yeah.
just like this, he showed us a tool he made in his shop to help him do something easier, cleaner, safer, better. And that's what we're looking for. That'll be October the 26th. We will do that. That's
You
3
got it.
weeks. We will be doing that.
I like
And
that Wixie gauge idea. That was pretty cool.
yeah.
That thing really works.
Yeah, we get these ideas and you can use them. And but here's the deal. Use it, you got to share. You have to share it with us. We want to see what you do, what you have, and the ideas you have. And please don't ever think that they're cheeky ideas or stupid ideas. No, they're ideas and they work. But maybe I hadn't thought of it, or maybe unseasoned Turner hadn't thought of it, or whatever. I mean, I'm a semi-pro. Just look, my name's on the screen. You know, I got ranking and everything. Well, passion.
I think Glenn Dornack's got something for us tonight.
All right, Glenn, talk to us, sir.
There he is.
You hear me?
You're up.
Yes,
Oh
sir.
yeah, you're on.
All right, this October is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and our club challenge this month is wig stands, and so I turned a couple of them here. These are just out of 2x material, but one of the ladies in our club, her daughter's in high school in an art class, and they're going to paint and decorate the wig stands for the art class for their community service. And that's what we're doing this month. And we've been trying to do the wig stands a few times a year, give them to the cancer center. And then last month we had our club challenge was birdhouse ornaments. So I turned a few. This one is
I like that.
This one's out of cedar and walnut. Then I have another one. This one's walnut, and the top I believe is from crepe myrtle. The finial I believe is maple. And then I have another one out of ash and walnut. And then I had a little small one. This one's out of I had glued a couple of pieces of maple and walnut together, and piece of maple the top, but I haven't. I want to use a wood burning tool to burn the shingles on this one.
That's neat.
And then also the every year for the Driscoll Children's Hospital, we always turn snowmen or ornaments. And so I turned a couple of plain birdhouse ornaments out of 2x material, and that same art class is going to paint these also. So
you could be in two clubs with those things.
Yes,
be in the 2x4 club and the birdhouse club.
How are you gonna hang those ornaments?
We
Glenn?
need that birdhouse club.
How are you gonna hang those ornaments, Glenn?
Pardon?
There's no hook or anything. How are you gonna hang those?
Oh, I've got the little hole drilled in.
I
it.
got you.
I just haven't put the eyes in them yet.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm gonna put the eye hooks in them. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Glenn.
It's easier to put the eyelets in them when I'm holding them on the lathe, and then I can just hold the eyelet still and use the hand wheel to turn it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But these I had to go a different way of making the lid. So I had some little problems, but I got to where I wanted to go.
It looks like you solved the problems.
Yeah, they look good.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Glenn.
You're welcome.
Look at that. Situations and that we get into to help other folks. The wake stands was something pushed real hard a year or two ago, and we had hundreds turned by members, and they all went to oncology centers. And my wife visits one of the centers each week, and she makes quilts, pillowcases, grab bags, pillows to rest their arms on while they're getting chemo, etc. Those all that makes a difference to these folks. They're going through the toughest times of their life, and they're going to make it through it. You know, if we can all help them a little bit, it'd be good for us. That's the way the world should work. So if you can turn a wake stand, you can find an oncology place in your neighborhood, a hospital, whatever. Let me caution you. When you go in, talk to regular staff people about it. Sometimes management's got this, all right, and it could be hard to get past it. But just ask the people that deal with the people. And if they have an interest, had a request for it or whatever, and that'll help. Now, we also do Freedom Pens through worldwidewoodturners.org. And Freedom Pens is where you turn an ink pen, you like, and then you send it to Freedom Pens. And you can do that because on our website, we have 4 or 5 different outlets. Doug handles the Army. Ronnie handles the Marines. Over in Jacksonville, he handled, I can't remember names, you know that. But we have Joe Selby. We have folks that handle all those different services. Now, if you can't pick a service or you wish not to pick a service, send them to Doug Rowe, and he'll take it from there. And we do it. I know we did 1,000 ink pens last year. I know we did. In fact, Doug showed us a case he received from one of our members just recently. And some of these things are absolute, well, not some of them, they all are a work of art. They are, and they're very nice to have. And if you're in the service, serving your country, protecting our freedom, and that's the way you have to look at it, it's nice to get a little thank you from home. It really is. And remember, folks, the only way we can do this is if our freedom is protected. Just this simple little meeting, our freedom is protected. All right, if you got something to show tonight, jump in. We got about 13 minutes left before we call it an hour, at the top of the hour, pardon me. And we got a pretty good crowd.
This is Glenn Dornack again. I just had something I wanted to mention. This past summer, we had a turning challenge, turning pins. And we turned, the club, we turned 120 pins. And we donated those to the first responders, the police officers and the firemen, and they were thrilled to have them. So we've done them before for the here in Corpus Christi, they have a Naval Air Station. We donated a number of pins to the servicemen there, but we decided to go a different route this year, going with the policemen and firemen, because they're out there on giving their life on the line every day. So we decided to do that this year.
That's a good move.
To mention that.
Thank you, Glenn.
Yes,
that's a good move, because remember, these are people, their job is saving our lives. It's that simple, isn't it? It's that simple and that complicated. I did the key rings and all the other things my wife does for these folks. You would believe that you went into a kindergarten with a bag full of M&Ms when you do that. Everybody is so happy to see what you've done, so happy to share in what's going on. My wife left her friend up at treatment, went down to the car to get something, came back, and a lady said, "Oh, I gave away all those key rings." She was gone 5 minutes and went through a bucket full of key rings, because the place was packed and everybody would love to have something, and it all had the cancer ribbon on it. I used the Lathe. Right now, I can use the engraver, and that's something they believe I can't get hurt at. but that I can pop them in there, and I order them from Amazon. It takes about 2 or 3 weeks to get a load in. I just think I can't get them in quick enough to turn them around because we're going to do it for other centers. It helps. Think of how you feel when something like that happens, how you feel if it happened to you, and then how you feel when it happens to them. It's a magic thing. Bob Grinstead, he'll be right behind you on 11:15, but Bob's going to be older. You see, Bob, it's the 74th anniversary of my birth. I'm not 74 years old. My daddy partied like my daddy partied like a dago madman when I was born. But that's I tease my kids about it, and they always reel back at me. You're not that old and all. They'll tell me that I'm not that old today, but tomorrow they'll say, "Boy, you're old." It's just the way things work sometimes. Kids, you're happy when you get them. You're happy when they leave.
Amen.
And Lord, if they got to move back, whoa! I'll get thrown out. I'll continue that conversation. All right. WorldwideWoodturners.org is your club. If you'd like to check out our website, it's worldwidewoodturners.org. If you'd like to send us mail to the club, it can be you can send it to worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com. That's our email address, worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com. And we're there for you. But we only survive if you're a part of this operation. That's the only way we're going to make it. And we've had 3 great years, few hiccups, few bumps in the road, but hey, we're tough guys, gals. We can do it, right? And always get in trouble with the guys. All right. Anybody got anything for gallery tonight? All right. Problems, situations, corrections. The list of addresses sending the pens is on our chat. You go there and it puts a link to a link. Our link is on our on worldwidewoodturners.org. Send a freedom pen is the subline. But it's there. Dave put it right there on our website. It's there all the time. And all right, anybody got a case, a situation, something came up tonight you'd like to cover again?
Or if you got something that you want to, if you saw something in the chat that you want to reference later, save the chat.
Oh yeah, save it. That's Donald's job. Donald's down in over in Australia.
Sorry,
Where's Donald? There. Nope.
Let's see.
He must be out tonight.
No, he was there.
Hey, Donald. There he is.
There he is. See?
There he is.
Sorry, Donald. Didn't mean to steal your thunder, mate.
Billy said you're muted, Donald. You're muted. We don't hear you yet. Oh boy.
There you go.
You should hear me now.
Yep.
Yeah, I got you.
Sorry, I was just taking off the blood pressure monitor. I was doing a 24-hour test. Save the chat.
Hope you're okay.
Yes, there you go.
What are we supposed to do with the chat?
Save it.
Save it.
Thank you, Donald.
Yeah.
See, all of our members get involved in this club. That's it. We saw some interesting things tonight. It will be, as I said, on our website. I want to drag this out. We got 8 minutes to the top of the hour. If you got something to chat about covering tonight's meeting, talk about it right now. Tell me. Otherwise, I'll pull the plug and go home. I am.
Happy birthday, Ed.
Thank you, Billy.
Mhm. Hey,
I'm going
I
to
will
my
say
tea
this.
party.
I got
I will
something
say
I'd
this.
like to add, Eddie. This Terry again,
Go ahead,
so I'll
Terry.
pull me back up.
Go ahead.
You got me?
We're looking
Hello?
at you.
Hello.
I'm trying
I'm
to find
here.
my mouse.
You're up
Hi.
there.
Oh, we got lots of mice. There
There
we
you-
go. You got me up.
You're up.
I'd like
Yep.
to make a little comment. I think Jim Duxbury is still online, and I haven't seen him say goodbye. But The, for a long time, I've dabbled and kept looking and thinking that I would like to try to make some oscilloscopes. And I know that he's done that, and kaleidoscopes, kaleidoscopes. And I know that Jim has made some real fancy ones, and I thought maybe he'd give us a little insight on it. I keep looking online and I never find any information for supplies or directions or anything. But I've seen some wonderful ones, and Jim pulled up a couple that he did. Just thought maybe he'd add a little into that or give us some insight on it. If anybody else might be interested in them also.
Yeah.
Jim, are you still with us?
I think
Right,
Jim's
let's-
left.
He left, huh? Maybe we'll
Yeah,
catch him next week.
Sure,
he's
that
not
would be a
on
good demo there, or a good conversation.
They
Yeah.
do have the kit ones, the very simple ones, at most of all your pin outlet folks, like Wood Turnings or Turner's Warehouse, those kinds of places. Any place you can buy pin kits usually has the kaleidoscope kits, but they're the very simple ones.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking more at high-end fancy ones that I've seen at
Right.
different displays and stuff, and I don't find any information on them very much. I
Right.
try to look at Amazon and things like that for kits and for basically directions. I don't know that you really need a kit. You just need some input.
There was an old boy at SWAT about 5 years ago who was, I think, out of Georgia, had a little parrot that he always had in his apron. And he made master of those scopes. And he had a video that he put out. I've got it. I'll dig up the names and bring it up for next week.
That'd be great. And maybe next week we'll ask Jim about it too, because he just glanced over it. He does so many wonderful things that it take a lifetime to show them all, I'm sure. But one day I was watching something on here when he was showing one, and he glanced over some kaleidoscopes that he made. And I've seen some real high-end ones, table models that are sitting there for coffee table or just figure things. And I always had a little interest in making one, but never really had enough information to do one.
Yeah, I think Jim's are very ornate. I think you're right, Terry.
Terry, if you'll go to Duxbury, DUXTERITY.com, that's his website. I'll put it in the chat here.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you. A lot going on. Now, I received a lot of birthday greetings in the chat tonight, and thank you so much. Remember tomorrow, I have to go to a tea party. That's where my wife is taking me. She said I must have my proper.
Bob, that's DUX, right? Not DE.
Yeah, DUX.
Right. I have to get dressed for this. I mean, it's a tea party.
It doesn't look like a double Windsor to me.
Just a single.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have a
nice
feeling. I have a feeling I'm paying for this.
There you go.
All right. They put the chat.
I will say, and I mentioned it earlier, that I had wood given to me, and this is the time of year a lot of wood is given. A lot of trees falling down or being cut down. Guys, be careful with your backs. Don't think you're still 26 and can handle that big chunk. Get somebody to help you or take a chainsaw and cut it down. Don't do like I did. I've been over 2 weeks with a bad back.
Doug, why didn't you tell me that a couple of weeks ago?
I know. Well, that's when I hurt mine. You and I did it at the same time.
Yeah, and I'm still not over it. I'm gonna have to. I'm just gonna have to take however many days it takes and rest and not do anything until it heals, because I keep aggravating it every day, and it's just getting worse
Yeah.
and worse. So I'm
I've
just gonna have
been-
to lay off.
Yeah. I've been taking a leave morning and night both. And the other day, my wife put, I think it's Voltaren. It's an arthritis ointment, but she put it on my back and it helped tremendously. So I may get her to do another treatment of that, and in another day or two, I may be back up to snuff.
Good. All right. Take care of yourself, old guy.
Oh, all of us.
That's right.
Okay, and we must not be spelling it right because that website is not working.
Which one, Ducks or Dex?
Ducks.
All right. I heard about it the other day, but I just Emiliano Hackeval, we've seen his demos, etc. He has lost his wife this week.
That is on his birthday, no less.
Yeah.
That's,
Oh, man.
that's just
On Facebook, he's showing where he's making her earn already, and yeah, he's pretty tore up, and which is understandable. He's really devastated.
Nothing worse than losing your spouse,
Yeah.
other than a child.
Don't put a level on him. It's terrible to lose anybody, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, I quit looking at the statement. I just quit looking at obits a long time ago because I didn't want to see my friends leave.
Yeah.
And that's you know, I want to keep the memory that I have that I generated with them. Good, bad, indifferent, whatever. They're friends, and I would miss them if they were going. I do miss them when they're going.
okay, I found it.
You put it in? You got it now?
I'm getting it.
All right.
His Kaleidoscope Plans website. I'm gonna post it.
All right. On our chat, like Donald tells us from Australia, save the
There you go.
chat. It's in there. So
That's
now if you
good.
save the chat, you have all that information, and that'll be on our website. And remember, if you want to be in the events list, it goes in the chat. If you want to be in our members list, it goes in the chat. And if you want to add something to our website, contact Dave through our website. All right. That's it, folks. We're going to pull the plug. It's 9:00 Wednesday night, Central Time. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for being here tonight. It was a good evening. I enjoyed it. Thank you for the birthday wishes. I'm going to the party tomorrow. See this? I'm going to the party tomorrow.
Looking good, Captain.
Yeah.
I bet you don't get out of the house with that.
Hardy,
bandana
hardy,
around your
Captain.
neck.
Yeah, I bet he
You
don't
know he
either,
won't.
Doug.
No,
It won't,
not
Doug.
happening.
At all.
Sure beats the hell out of a hat with flowers on it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right, folks. Y'all take care and be safe. I'll see
Happy
you back here
birthday,
next week.
Eddie.
Happy
Good night,
birthday.
everybody.
Eddie.
Yeah, have a good one.
Thank
Many
you.
more.
Birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, happy
Thank-
birthday, man.
Thank you. Y'all take care now.
Night,
All
everybody.
right.
Everybody have a great week. Stay
Good night,
safe.
all.
Good night,
Night
everyone.
all.
Good night, everybody.